in the world, performing in the world of stunts, acting, and entertainment around the globe. Many of them started on Sideswipe and doing live performances. Many of them performed with different shows like Mortal Kombat or the Marvel Live Universe. Royal Caribbean is another amazing opportunity, so you guys should take advantage. All of you competitors that are of age, that are interested in getting experience, make sure you connect. Congratulations to Haley Glass. I would like to just see, do we have any Cobra Kai fans in the house? Okay, some of you, it might be your first time at a World NASCA event, then it's okay to let us know, clap and cheer. It's okay to get a little bit loud and rowdy, is that right? Then if you didn't get a chance, I won't spoil anything, but I had the privilege of watching the last 2 episodes of season 5 of Cobra Kai last night. And little do many of you know that one of the stars of the season, last season, this season, and soon to be upcoming season 6, she's one of our very own. We're honored to have her training with us at Sharky's Karate. She came here, we met her last year, and she jumped into the training because she loves it. We'd like to bring up to the stage Una O'Brien, who stars as Devin Lee on Cobra Kai. All right, so I used to grow up going to these big national tournaments, and I would see martial arts stars and celebrities in the house, and it gave me so much excitement and motivation that fueled me to then one day be on the same stage as them and the other top world champion competitors. We have so many of you guys that are here that are doing the same, looking up to the top competitors, going for the Warrior Cup tonight, and having these dreams of getting into TV shows and films and working in entertainment. We've got this young superstar right here. We'd love for you to just maybe say a few words to the crowd and to the competitors that are here tonight.
Hi everyone, my name is Una.
American Karate Association President, Vice President, and Event Directors John Sharkey and Hunter Lyon would like to welcome you to Chicago and the 2023 AKA Warrior Cup Finals. With athletes representing over 10 different countries and thousands in attendance, tonight's competition will feature the best martial artists from around the globe. I'm Mike Chatt, and I will be your host this evening. Joining me tonight is 7-time world champion Mallory Woods.
Thank you, Mike. It is a great day to be in Chicago.
Great to have you with us. And Vice President of the Professional Martial Arts Conference and promoter of the Memphis Open, Mr. Joey Perry.
Thank you, Mike. I am humbled and excited to be here tonight and talk about all these great athletes with you guys.
Welcome. As the longest running martial arts championship in North America, the Warrior Cup competition promises to be a night full of top-notch performances in forms, weapons, point fighting, and team competition. Joey, the forms competition was really shaken up this weekend with junior competitors moving into new brackets and the coveted adult categories. What can we expect from the new blood in these divisions?
High energy, explosiveness all weekend long. All the forms and weapons divisions in particular were exciting. The juniors that moved up, pushing the seniors, giving them a new challenge. And through all of those top athletes, one kind of rose above all, and that's Esteban Tremblay from Canada. So the world's going to get to see what the next generation looks like tonight.
It's going to be incredible. And Mallory, we've seen some of the best talent grace the mat here. With the Plowden family back after a year off, former winners in attendance, will there be a new king or queen crowned, or should we expect the family to reclaim their title?
Well, Mike, in point fighting, a year off is a long time. Some of those competitors would never love to hear the name Plowden again if they can help it. They want to make the Warrior Cup a staple in their martial arts career. But with that being said, when you have someone with the last name of Plowden in your bracket, expect a tough fight.
It's going to be a great battle. And tonight's broadcast brought to you in part by our sponsors, Century Martial Arts, Royal Caribbean, and Black Belt Magazine. Get ready. It's going to be an action-packed night of competition here in Chicago. At this time, we invite you to stand and join us for our national anthem, performed by Miss Teen Connecticut, Miss Gabrielle Dunn Rudolph.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Miss Gabrielle Dunn Rudolph.
Ladies and gentlemen, joining us on the stream, I'm here with my broadcast partner, Mr. Joe Perry, who is the promoter of the Memphis Open. Joe, welcome to the booth, and thank you for filling in.
Mallory, I am so excited to be here tonight and talk with you, obviously sharing this legendary space with you, but these competitors deserve so much love. I'm excited to be here.
You know, it's always great to start off this sports karate year with the Warrior Cup. I am so happy that we're in downtown Chicago with no snow.
Oh, we've been here when it was like 1 degree and 2 degree outside and just storms happening, but of course it's always warm inside.
That's true. You know what? I'm just super happy that there's no snow. There's no snow in the forecast. That brutal Chicago wind is not in your face all the time. It's been a great weekend. Fierce competition all around. We've got some juniors that have come up to the adults. We've got some adults that have regressed to some of maybe the senior level divisions, but still holding on, maybe still stepping into the 18 and 29. But overall weekend, the competition was fantastic.
It's been amazing. I got to officiate most of the weekend in and out and do a few different age groups, and the talent is continues to grow. Unbelievable. So I'm excited to see tonight, it all kind of gets whittled down to the best of the best, right?
Yeah, absolutely. What you're going to see, ladies and gentlemen, is this fine display of sport karate. If this is your first time watching this, or if you're an old hat watching, maybe your niece, nephew, son, daughter, whomever it is, you're in for a treat. Looks like first up, we have our 13 and under NASCAR overall Grand Championship black belt boys weapons. Now, to explain that to you really quick, think of like a gymnastics routine for routines that are graded on a 9.9 level to 10. And we've got a couple of competitors coming up right now. Joey, I'll let you go ahead and introduce them.
Man, hey, representing Team AKA from Plantation, Florida, we've got 12-year-old Adamas. He likes to be referred to as the Atom Bomb, right?
Absolutely.
He is. He's on Team AKA. He's grown, continued to improve over the years. I got to watch him as an underbelt in the Pro-Mac regions. So I happen to have seen that growth, and to see him now on stage the last couple of years is pretty awesome.
This is one of the great things about this is you get the chance to see some of these competitors as young as 6 years old out here competing, and you really get a chance to see them grow up on the circuit.
It's people can use all kinds of words for it, but it's fantastic. I mean, even as a parent, as a coach, instructor, I love seeing that growth and the development, and to watch competitors like this through the regionals and build up to dominating on this level is you gotta feel like a proud parent in a way.
In a way, you are.
It's nice to see. Man, he's starting out strong with the sword. His level of speed and strength with keeping the clean lines is really improved. Again, watching him the last few years, he's definitely always been the one to watch. He was one of those type of young competitors, and now he's still young. It's not like he's old.
He's nowhere near old.
No. He's got a long way to grow. You get up to the Dawson Holt level of strength and dynamics, but man, he continues to improve and stay focused. I love seeing that.
One of the things also is that when you have them starting so young, you can watch them as they develop, as they get stronger, and you can see the hours and hours of practice that one has to put in to excel at this level.
Yeah, he's kept his intensity throughout. Strong, nice stance work.
Now, on the average, a kata or form like this, it may last anywhere from 1 to 3 minutes, and you have to be intense the entire time. Sometimes that takes a lot of strength. You're gasping for air when you're coming off. You're sweating, especially a long traditional, hard traditional form. This one is a little bit more traditional, but it's definitely as intense, and you can tell he is still staying strong throughout this entire thing.
Yeah, his endurance level has been, I mean, it's obvious. You go watch from home and go, man, I would be so tired after a few moves or all that yelling, but you put all that together with the strength and the dynamics and to be able to keep the balance points, whether you're doing traditional or extreme creative, it's a different level of conditioning. He did a great job.
And we're hearing it from the audience as the audience responds to this kata.
Yep. Nice job, young man. Nice and clean.
Our next competitor, representing Team Competitive Edge from San Antonio, Texas. Let's welcome Michael Molina.
So as you might have heard Mike Chat say, representing Team Competitive Edge from San Antonio, Texas, he's just 10 years old, Michael Molina. And I've had the privilege of watching this young man the last few years on the regional and national circuit. He's been playing this game for a while. And I think if you've watched this broadcast before, he is all over the place, and he is definitely a top performer. He's a showman.
He definitely is, and he's been rising up with led by his older sister. They compete out in the circuit together. That's one of the great things about the families. If you have an older sibling or twin, a lot of times we see twins out here, they compete together, and a lot of times head-to-head.
Well, and they've had a few chances to go head-to-head, I know, lately, making grands that overlapped. And, oh, here he goes. Explodes right out of the gate. Wow.
Oh, wow.
Nice. Yeah, his precision, his lines are improving. And again, he's just 10 years old, you know, and to have the, you know, the dynamics and the power of even a child, you know, a child that's just 2 years older, you know, like Adamas a minute ago, he's got that power. You know, he's showing that, but his intensity, his showmanship, and he's doing high-level tricking to go with that. Wow.
Lots of tricks with the bow.
No, he's got a great flow. That's the thing. He was flowing, smooth, stops, points, calls it. That's kind of a Babe Ruth call, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
He called his shot.
And as you say, playing towards the crowd, he is a showman.
There's no doubt. I mean, not even having to explain all of the amazing moves that he did. Just, you know, he had a great flow. He kept it going, and at the right time, having that pause, calling his shot, and then catching it. That's a presence, you know, and to be that young. So great job. So now, what do the judges think when you're judging that and you're having to throw those scores, which I do regularly? It is tough, you know. And how do you judge? It's apples and oranges a little bit there.
Yes, you're dealing with the traditional versus the modern. So the judges will now render their scores, and we'll drop the lowest and the highest, and we'll get the average together, and when the one with the most points will be the winner, just like you would see in a gymnastics competition or any other judged point competition that you may see on television or attend. Always great sportsmanship between these two competitors as well. You see each other all
nice.
and a little something choreographed.
Nice.
We've never seen something like that before.
They're not even on the same team.
No, they're not.
Right? That's what's up. But you're right. I mean, they grow up together. They compete together regularly. They're friends and rivals, frenemies, right?
And Mike Molina takes it.
Wow. Yeah. So the scores kind of got thrown out there where we didn't get to call them out there like that. But
you can see them on your screen a little bit though.
He won by 3. There we go. Yeah. Like wow. So the 13 and under champ, Mr. Michael Molina from San Antonio, Texas.
Outstanding.
Hey, I noticed he's wearing his traditional belt. He and his sister are both also part of the ATA Taekwondo traditional organization. So I think he made a point he wanted to wear his traditional belt this evening. So it's kind of cool to see.
Definitely cool to see. As we move on tonight, our next division is 13 and under NASCAR Overall Grand Championship Black Belt Girls Weapons. And first up, representing Team Heartland, the Team Heartland Elite Karate Team from Starksville, Mississippi, 11 years old, Riley Carlson.
Well,
she's up first.
I happen to have been able to see Riley Claire grow up the last few years as well on the regional circuit and watch her growth. She is super dynamic, great presence for a young athlete. You know, we're talking about Michael's stage showmanship. RC, as they call her, she has that Sammy Smith stage presence, a little dynamite effect, and technique continues to improve. She's getting stronger all the time, and it's just, man, it is so great to see. So here we go.
Now, parents at home, of course, remember, this young lady is 11 years old. If you happen to have an 11-year-old in the house, this is what could be your 11-year-old with lots of discipline and lots of martial arts talents.
Nice. She's got some releases there. Showing off a little flexibility. Dynamics, not missing a beat. Got right up. She's got a little, you could say tumbling pass, but that could mean anything. Of
course.
Have different variations of kicks or tricks in there. That was definitely a tumbling pass.
And to amend the statement earlier, my show notes are wrong. She represents Team Competitive Edge. Yes, I am monitoring the chat that's going on YouTube right now, so definitely shout out to those that are in the chat room, all 163 of you watching the stream on the sportmartialarts.com YouTube page.
Oh, nice. And Riley Claire finishes stride. Again, I love watching the young athletes grow. I love watching how dynamic she is and seeing her grow to be on the stage. That was a great performance. Really, depending on, we're talking about the flavor of what you like, whether it's creative, extreme type, or traditional type, depending on what she has to compete against. That's hard to follow, right?
Yeah, absolutely so. Coming to the stage right now, Adeline Lau.
Adeline from Colorado.
Oh,
So she's used to the weather.
she's
Right.
definitely used to the weather. Probably going back to 6 feet of snow.
Oh, I thought that was Buffalo.
It's always Buffalo.
All right, so we're going to see more of a traditional performance, Madeline, I would say.
Correct, no music.
All right, so she's got the double. That's been really more of a, I don't want to say a growing trend, but it's been something that we've been seeing to kind of differentiate and expand on, traditional weapons, traditional sword play, and doing the double and the different variations of that. It's kind of nice to see. I think you would say one of the Johann Vosch
Yes.
brothers and family would be largely responsible for some of that lately.
I would definitely say that Shaheen and, of course, his brother definitely brought those weapons back into the limelight. So we can see really the beauty of a form like this when it's really done very well in a traditional sense.
Been able to officiate and score Adeline in divisions over the last year or so a few times. I can recall, and I've seen her do this before, and she's continuing to get smoother, better, cleaner in the transitions. And if you, depending on how much you know about sword work, and different people have different tastes and different views of, say a performance versus traditional versus, whatever. But in this realm, in this sport, in this limelight, seeing the clean lines, seeing, sheathing and unsheathing and then coming up and down in the cuts, it's nice to see them handling the weapons more appropriately and smoother. So she did a great job.
Very smooth performance. And, of course, we do have to mention that these young ladies, they're very young, and they have such stage presence at such a young age.
I think we're going to see quite a bit of that tonight with the young athletes. There's really a great performance culture going on, and I guess you could say that, for a while, but right now more than ever, I see quite a few of the young athletes especially are just, their stage presence, their facial structure, their understanding of a show is constantly improving, and it's just making the sport better. It's definitely more enjoyable to watch.
Definitely so.
All right, so we got scores coming up.
And the scores for Riley Claire Carlisle.
All right, so she gets a total of 49.92. So she got 3 9s. I saw that.
Always
Correct.
looking up for those 9-9s.
Right, count the 9s, Generally, if you get 4 9s, you've got it. Here we go, Adeline, and she secured 4 9s out of the 7. So if you do that math, she comes out the winner by 1, so to speak. Set world champion from AK sidekick member Mary Amato giving out the award.
That is Mary Amato up there.
Always great to see her. She's got a great spirit, phenomenal martial artist. All right, congratulations to Adeline. That was fantastic. Both of those ladies, strong, great performances. Look at that smile. She smiled that big before she won. She knew.
That was Haley Glass in a Century commercial. Let me just tell you, I remember interviewing her when she was a young lady, probably about 9 or 10, and she was just as intense then as she is now.
She's super intense, strong, powerful, dynamic. I love watching her perform.
All right, coming up to the stage now, we've got our 14-17 overall NASCAR Overall Championship Black Belt Boys weapons.
Fantastic, representing Team Amerikic National from Clifton, New Jersey, 17-year-old Shane Billow. And I'll go ahead and add, again, just being through the circuit so much the last couple of years and officiating and watching, this young man is not only is he always respectful, behaves correctly, all of that, great athlete, great competitor, but on the mat, he has just been on fire, winning multiple grands, multiple events. Clean. There's the Mr. Clean moniker for Dawson Holt, I believe. But if there could be a 2.0, it might be Shane Billow.
Good traditional bow form being displayed for you right now.
Well, look at that nice stance and coming out of the spin to have that balance. It's not some big flip trick. But as you know, in order to do something like that and make it look so easy, it's not. That's the beauty of it.
And don't forget, the strength of that deep stance and then the ability to explode out of it. Lots of leg work right there. This is why a lot of these athletes are now doing weight training instead of just, you do all your hours of training, but an additional adding in the weights for that explosiveness, that little bit more.
Right there, and he showed it. Great job from Shane Billow. I feel one of the most well-rounded weapons and forms competitors out there because he can do creative and extreme, and then traditional, and he has his highlights in all of that. So great performance from Shane once again, very consistent.
And up now, representing Team Competitive Edge from Houston, Texas, Philip Broom. Starts off to hype the crowd up a little bit.
Philip's got a little bit of that Texas Molina gene in him, right? So he's 16 years old, so he's got all of that energy. But the Brumet family is huge in Texas with martial arts in the competition circuit. These kids, he's got multiple brothers. They are great competitors, great family. And Philip, is the high-flying extreme one of the group, and he, right out of the gate, as you can see, will put on a show. So he's definitely one of the most exciting performers right now in that 14 to 17 group. He's getting stronger, and his weapons manipulations, weapons tricks are at really one of the highest levels out there. So watch out for what he might pull out of the bag here.
Starting out with some great combinations, drops into a stance, and then a flip over and a catch.
Nice. Oh, nice. So, manipulated the weapon while spinning and right into that trick. Made it look easy, and it's just not for the average person.
And don't forget, these kids are, and I'll say kids lightly, growing up doing these things that have been perfected many years before they arrived in this division. So they are just starting this, and this is just natural to them. So what are they going to come up with next?
The envelope is always getting pushed. I mean, just something like what you watched Philip do just a second ago with, going into, the Webster, but with the twist. It's always adding. It just in that simple move. It wasn't simple, but he made it look simple.
But he makes it look simple.
It's great. That is the mark of a great athlete.
And a double release and catch.
Wow. Great job, Philip Brumet. The Houston, Texas area. Great job. So that was the two in the division. And again, we go back to you've got traditional versus
modern.
Creative, extreme, or modern, you would say. And both of those guys were fantastic. I'm fans of both of them. They nailed the routines, if you want to call it a routine, respectfully. Great performances.
Aren't you glad you're back here and not having to judge tonight?
I am, because normally I am. Normally I'm having to judge this. I'm glad I got to just watch it and
wow,
dote on it.
49.95 for Shane.
Wow. That kind of does that, doesn't it?
I mean, unless there's a 10 out there, there could be a 10.
I guess there could be. Okay, so 49.9. So he secured one of the 9s, and Shane grabbed the rest. That was great. So the judges kind of leaned on the traditional side that time.
This time they did select traditional, so congratulations to Shane Billow.
Wow.
Fantastic kata.
Yeah, well deserved. I mean, either one of those athletes, obviously, and again, I'm a fan, so you'll probably hear me say that a lot. I love what they're doing. I love the sport, so I think they both were great. But not being like they all should win, but they were both great performances. That was awesome. So yeah, to your point, I'm super glad to be here, excited about it, rather than down there throwing up the scores. So congratulations again to Shane Billow. He was the 14-17 grand champion.
There is a lot of pressure on the judges. You've got all of these, parents and students out here watching what you put up for a score. And as we move on over to 14-17 NASCAR overall Grand Championship black belt girls weapons, representing Team Infinity from Sunrise, Florida, 15-year-old Sophia Rodriguez Flores, or better known as Pia.
And so Sophia won both championships earlier, so she's taking the bow. And do we get a performance?
Let's see. Well, she's got the trophy. I'm wondering because she may be saving something for a little later. But in this case, she won both divisions. She won open hand kata and she won the weapons kata. So she would literally be competing against herself.
Yeah, for the grand, that was automatic, being as she won both of those. But she, like you said, she will be back for the Warrior Cup.
Absolutely.
Which is great because she is one of the top performers, top competitors in the country, any age group.
On Wonder Woman, going for Scarlett Johansson, Black Widow, Carrie-Anne Moss in The Matrix 4, Mickey Facinello. She sends this message to all of the females and the
My
rest of the
chat
competitors
warming
tonight.
up the crowd, mentioning a few former competitors here and sending out some kudos to these competitors that are here live. Just to swing back to the chat, a point they brought up earlier. Gabrielle Dunn Rudolph did give us a great rendition of the United States National Anthem, of course. She came out here and sang because she's multi-talented. She'll be back to perform her kata and everything. But she has been involved with a development deal with WWE. So that was a question, and that is true. She's often working on that right now, so we wish her, of course, the best of luck. That's quite an endeavor to take on. That's I can't imagine how exciting that is,
Any opportunity, to be out in any form of entertainment or whatever your thing is, right? I mean, not just, trying to be general with it, but that's exciting. What do we have here coming up on stage? It's the Black Belt Women's Weapons overall, representing Team AKA from Ohio, 20-year-old Sarah Campbell. I've really enjoyed watching Sarah. Again, another one of those athletes regionally that has really, really gotten after it and become so strong in her last few years and increased her level of difficulty in what she does. So she's been right up there at the top. Won a few grand championships last year on the circuit.
We've been seeing her more and more as she becomes more and more familiar to the stage presence. And that's what, sometimes it takes that. You got to get your face out there. You got to show others as you beat maybe a favorite and take their spot. Or, saying, hey, I'm a threat to you. I'm in your division. You better watch out. I'm nipping at your heels. That's the nature of the game.
Sarah, missed the little catch there. Yeah.
Unfortunately so. And just to go ahead and familiarize some of you with the rules, if you drop your weapon, it's usually an automatic disqualification. It looks like Sarah is going to bow out at this time. That unfortunately happens. Nerves gets to you. It could be the lights. It could be the stage. It could be maybe you hurt your pinky earlier in the runoffs. It could be a number of different things.
I hate seeing that. I hate it for the people at home. Because you want to see the best. You want to see the full performance. And, to have that drop. I hate that for the athlete most, obviously. But Sarah's amazing athlete. She'll be back.
She'll
we'll
definitely be back.
Her again.
And coming from my home state, Maryland, from Towson, Maryland, actually, is Caitlin Vong, 21 years old, representing Team CBR.
Seen Caitlin a few times, not only divisionally over the last few years on the circuit, more and more. She's on this path, but also in grands lately, and her kicking ability would be her strength. Am I right?
Yes, indeed. Let's see if she's going to get right away to displaying that.
I think Master Kurt Shyrock is sharing some thoughts on the kicking ability and dynamics. Caitlin, and he's not wrong. Look at that, nice, clean. Nice, smooth so far. Integrating low work, spin work, basics. Look at those kicks.
Strong kicks.
Oh, and they say
Very strong.
we don't see enough basic kicks these days, but that was a great Gemma Nguyen type kicking pattern. Or I'm in Chicago. In fact, I should say Mike Chet kicking pattern, should I not?
However, pulling up Jim and Win is always a great reference. Former champion of many years ago, also a student of Charlie Lee Karate.
Absolutely.
Place where I spent
they're
a
all
good
in my
amount of time.
head from all the years, you know. All right, Caitlin, that was a great job. Great job with the commas, great manipulations, great kicking ability. Nice, clean form. So next up, representing Team Revolution from Waterloo, Ontario. She's 21 years old. Lynn McCann Barclay. I've seen her a lot on the SMA competitions, the online competitions.
Exactly. Actually, I met her and her mom during the COVID time when we were having virtual competition. So if those of you who not seen any of that before, what we did is we opened up a big giant Zoom room. We started the scoring system, and we would judge competitors. We would have some judges there, and we would judge them and have a virtual competition. It is a way that a lot of competitors improved during the time that which we really couldn't all be together. And with that being said, it is just absolutely great to be back out here again amongst everyone, seeing old friends, making new ones, seeing all these people that have grown during this time of the pandemic and everything. And Lexi and her mom was someone that we did meet through this, and get the chance to actually meet them face to face was kind of unusual. You know, we met them virtually before we met them physically.
That was, I guess, kind of, if you want to say a benefit of all that, it brought people together in that way that maybe you normally would not have.
Definitely true.
All right, so she's working the fan routine, and, you know, people may or may not understand that, but, you know, a little bit, obviously, her weapon, her fan on the stage right now doesn't have blades on the end, doesn't have spears or points, but you could go the way of the fan being the weapon with the spears or the blades on the ends for that, or it could be a distraction weapon if you had a different weapon. So her routine, you could look at it in a way, either way you wanted to, but she doesn't have a secondary weapon. So that's basically what the judges are looking at. She's using that as a weapon as well as distracting technique. So for those that may not have any clue much what they're looking at, you know, it kind of explains that in a short manner. Ooh, and then a very, very different weapon here.
Yes, indeed. Coming in also her teammate from Team Revolution as well, from New Jersey, Amber Rutherford.
Amber is so strong. I've enjoyed watching her journey on social media the last few years. Had the benefit of her attending the Memphis Open last year and actually won the Grand Championship, took on one of the big guitars, and she thought that was the coolest thing. I really enjoyed that sportsmanship and that high energy, but to watch her throughout the last year develop and get even stronger and win even internationally, it's been great. So she's got the traditional oar, and that's definitely something we don't see all the time.
Well, one of the things that I definitely have to give a shout out to right now is that this is our, let me make sure I'm getting the number right, 1, 2, 3. This is our third member on the stage just right now from Team Revolution. Not only has Team Revolution been on the rise, but I absolutely love their competitive spirit as a team. Off to our left via the stage, to the right facing you on the camera, is all of her teammates. We can see them clearly from here, and they are going to be screaming for her. These young ladies are active on social media doing team check-ins and posting, are you training, what are you working on? And they just, I mean, they bring that team spirit in for the martial arts, and it's absolutely great.
It's fantastic, and I want to talk about that a little bit more in just a little bit as well. You know, a few of the other athletes I know that are going to be on the stage, but I mean, as Amber is just knocking out this oar pattern and demonstrating, you know, great diversity there, and, you know, how to use those different weapons, and very powerful presence. You know, she's got some dramatic pause going on there, showing the balance, showing the athleticism.
Showing the strength, too.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. As we just heard in our ears, you guys couldn't hear that. Our director said that's some intensity right there. So if the director of the show is recognizing that, you know it's definitely intense.
You know it is. Yeah, Amber's strong. I love what she's got going on, her energy and just presence. So great performance there. Wow, nice. She's in a zone. You see the snap. You're coming into that. That's a great feeling as an athlete and as a performer, you know, when you're in that moment. So that was great to see. Great job, ma'am. And to your point about the Revolution team and their positive energy and, you know, how much they support each other and their social, that is great to see in our sport. And backing right up to the next competitor.
Another Team Revolution member, we've got Lane Barrett from Texas coming up, 22 years old. Her teammates, you know, the teammates going to have some sore throats tonight. Right now, just, you know, 3 in a row. They're out there yelling just like they're competing with their teammates on the stage.
That's right. The people of New Braunfels will be excited because there is only one S in that name of the town, they will tell you. As Lainey Murray has said once or twice to me over the years. Lainey is a fantastic competitor. She's actually very well-rounded. Has been focusing more on traditional, not just traditional weapon, traditional kata, and also point sparring. She loves to fight, loves to work out. She's I know that she's a certified fitness trainer. She has that business there in Texas, along with teaching and training, and was recently married.
That's right.
She's a newlywed.
I mean, when you're from Texas, fighting is a requirement. I think it's in the state constitution.
I think it's part of definitely the way of life, the foot fist way.
We're, of course, monitoring the chat, so, you know, we're going to send a question out to our audience, wondering where you're watching from tonight.
Great.
We're, of course, in Chicago, Illinois. Where are you watching this broadcast from?
Yeah, it'd be great to know where everybody's from and who they're cheering for, or why are they tuning in? What are they looking for? I love that we get to share the sport. You know, so hopefully we catch a few new fans. It'd be fantastic. All right, Lainey finishing strong. Great cuts, great lines.
Uh-oh, I think we got a winner for distance. We've got an Australian in the house.
Uh-oh.
You know, just curious, what time is it in Australia right now? I'm curious. I've got to have my show notes up. I can't go and ask Google, hey, what time is it in Australia right now? I'm just curious.
That was a fantastic performance from Lainey Murray. Great job, ma'am. Nice, clean, and powerful as always. But right on her heels is, I would say, the favorite, right? I would say the absolute favorite. Is it 109?
It is 109. Thank you. Lauren here with the tip in. And, of course, speaking of that, someone who is absolute superstar, Haley Glass. You can hear by the reception that she got. We saw her in the commercial before, and she is at the stage right now and going to be doing her sword routine.
Haley is, yeah, you were speaking about her earlier, one of the most dynamic performers in the sport today, and powerful and constantly developing, constantly growing as a martial artist. To see her doing traditional sword now, you know, and she's known for her kama work and her extreme work, to be an extreme athlete in the next generation. And her stage presence, her energy and intensity is just almost unmatched right now, especially in the current women's division when she's on. And I'm not sure, but I think that she had an ankle injury this weekend, so it doesn't seem to be slowing her down. She looks amazing. She
has an ankle brace on, but like you said, not slowing down whatsoever. Now, if you've been around this sport for a little while, you may remember a number of years ago when the movie Logan came out with Hugh Jackman. She played one of the little mutant kids out there, so already taken on Hollywood. She's been on, I think it's So You Think You Got Talent show, or she's been on a number of other things. She's actually got something that's coming up we're going to announce. We're going to interview her and find out what she's doing as she's a young college student. She's got this new opportunity that we will bring up in an interview soon. So a nice little tease for that.
Wow, fantastic performance from Haley Glass. Dynamic, powerful, captured the stage. The audience loved it. Great job, ma'am. So if she has an injury, we really couldn't tell. I'd love to see that. Great job. All right, so She just moved up into the adult division. So this is one that we were talking about earlier with the youth moving up and how that would affect the competition. Annabeth Hedgebeth from Mississippi, 18 years old, representing Team Competitive Edge. I've also had the privilege of seeing her over the years grow up in the regional circuit, jump onto the NASPA circuit, and to see her kind of in the shadow, not the shadow, but the image of, representing kind of the Mackenzie Emery, Sammy Smith type era and be that generation. It's great to see that and her improvement and her dynamics. Great presence, great look, little fire, little fireball. We'll see.
The thing is, once you get quote-unquote promoted, due to age, as you age in or age out of an old division, age into a new one, it doesn't get any easier. They're going to be established stars already as you arrive, and you've got to battle them right away. Like you said, she's coming to the adult division for one of her first performances, and you got to come out here and make some noise.
I love it. She came right out of the gate, strong, great looking chuck work, had a few, what you would say, simple pass acrobatics there, jump kicks, depending on if you're watching at home and what you know about what you're seeing there. But nice basics, made it look easy, had a great flow. Continually, she had the weapon going, had the flow going. Little miss there, but she shows you, I can do this.
And continues the kata.
Yeah,
now, unfortunately, it is going to be a disqualification. However, we do still have 7. We have 7 total competitors for this division on stage. So that's going to open the door a little bit for maybe someone else.
It does. Definitely opens the door. Great. Wow. Nice. I'm glad that she was able to finish and show the audience at home, hey, here's what I've got. Great attitude, great perseverance. All right, so the ladies back on stage now. Wow. All right, so you see, Annabeth sweeping through that. Nice job.
Yeah, the replay of this right now, we can see how smooth it was going up until that point.
Yep. I mean, it's good. Great energy, smooth pass, great chuck work. Just had that thing, right?
Yeah.
Just that one moment.
It's just that one small mistake. While we're waiting for the judges to go ahead and score these competitors, we're definitely reading the comments. One of the things I want to send out to is a tip of the hat to all the parents that are supporting their kids. I see a lot of Infinity parents. I see a lot of Team Revolution. Now it's up for the parents to battle out in the comments.
I love it.
Their kids are here, and parents of Team Revolution, parents of Team Infinity. This is great.
Hey, share the stream, push it out.
Absolutely.
Let's go. Give these athletes positive attention, positive love, positive comments. They're putting their image on the line. They're putting their necks on the line. They're doing what they love to do. So we want to celebrate that.
So with 7 competitors, now we did have, I think if I remember right, 2 disqualifications. There still is a lot of math, still a lot of other work to do.
Yep.
It would have been even more with all 7. So the judges are crunching through the numbers now, and as a competitor, even though there's a little music being played in the ballroom right now, there's still a bit of nervousness like that out there as you wait for this judging to actually occur. It's a little bit unnerving because you're wondering, like, did I do my absolute best? Did I absolutely, take this on? What can I do better next time? It's all over but the shout. So these competitors, a little nervousness and waiting.
The pageantry type moment, right? When you're on the stage and you've got the lights on you, but that's what we sign up for. As a competitor, you want to be a champion. You're not competing necessarily to be second best, you're competing to bring out the best in you and be the best. And you want the lights, so to speak, or at least it comes with that, comes with being that. And all of these ladies earned their way to the stage by winning their divisions. They won divisions earlier today, whether that that might have been traditional or creative or extreme. They might have been a returning, right, with competing for that. So amazing to see the diversity. You saw a lot of traditional or modern traditional. There's a lot of things depending on how social you are with all of that. It's great to see the diversity.
Right.
The creative, the extreme, the different weapons. So great job, ladies.
Judges are really taking their time getting things. So definitely shout out to everybody in the chat. Certainly appreciate it. Shout out to my guy, Mac Tyson. I see you out there watching us. Appreciate you, brother.
You mentioned Infinity earlier, right?
Yes.
My guy Mike Welch. Those guys have been phenomenal the last few decades, right?
Correct. They've been a force to be reckoned with for the team forms. And, of course, with that team, you have all sorts of individual competitors. Man, it's just, to see the evolution of as competitors grow up, maybe they'll age out, they go into the adult division. Maybe they'll go, you have someone aging out from 12 and 11 to, 13 in the 14, 17-year-old division. This just gets more intense and more, it's harder and harder to win as you go up there. And the thing that's tough about this is that once you age, quote unquote, to the 18 and older division, you got people that have been doing it for quite a while.
Yep, that's right.
Stiff competition.
You can come in as
Scores are up. I kind of want to go on a cruise, though.
well, after that, you think that we maybe could get paid in a cruise?
Yeah.
We'll take that. Take that up with Hunter and Master Sharkey. What do you think?
It's definitely going to be brought up.
Yeah, I'm sure it will be answered. 49.87 for Caitlin Bong. Great performance.
Next up,
Right, we have
49.83 for Liz again.
Men with a 49.83. Solid performance there. Great to see her development again. coming out of that's a great story.
And a 49.82
They've got
for
scores.
Amber Rutherford.
They've got the graphic for Laney, but that we think were the score for Amber Rutherford was the 9-2.
Yeah, maybe I think that the order was a little bit switched on the actual standing on the stage. They're going to double check that, make sure those results are right.
Yeah, so at home, we know you see the graphic and the scores with the name. We want to try to
There we go.
help make sure that's correct. There you go. So Amber Rutherford, 49.88.
Current leader by my math, but I went to public school, so hold on.
Ooh. I did as well. I'm not sure. I don't know if we're on the right level. Wow. All right, and Haley Glass with what is a modern-day perfect score of all
Indeed.
nines. And Annabeth was DQ'd with the drop. Look at that. Gives the heart. Got the smile.
She'll be back.
She will be back. And I always love her spirit. Great attitude with that. So again, one of the most dynamic and talented competitors in the country today, representing Team Paul Mitchell. Miss Haley Glass is your overall champion.
College student, if I remember, at Florida State University. I hope I got that right. No, that's FSU. She's just Florida State, if I remember correct. Gators. So
Florida Gators. It'd be Florida Gators.
Florida
right?
Gators.
Yeah, Florida State Seminoles.
Yes,
Florida
Seminoles
Gators,
at
right?
FSU. See, I need to watch more college football. That is what I need to do.
Well, my home base in Arkansas with the Razorbacks.
Those
were
Razorbacks.
SEC heavy, so I knew the Florida Gators were right, So.
All right, we slide right on into our next competition, Junior Weapons
Great.
World Cup Final, sponsored by Royal Caribbean. You might have seen a commercial about that not too long
A
ago.
few seconds ago.
Representing Team Infinity from Sunrise, Florida.
All right, so as you can hear Mike saying, representing Team Infinity from Sunrise, Florida, 15-year-old Sofia Rodriguez Flores. Should be 4 competitors in this division. It's a Junior Warrior Cup final.
Yes.
So it's boys and girls. The winners that were announced earlier or competed earlier going against each other for the Junior Cup. So we didn't get to see Sophia perform earlier. She took her bow with her double grands, but now you get to see that. And as I alluded to, in my opinion, and many opinion, she's one of the most dynamic youth performers. Even though she's doing traditional, you may not think about that as a performance, but when you watch her and her face, it is a performance, just like Haley Glass.
As she starts her routine, we did fail to mention at the top of the broadcast, this is the Warrior Cup. We mentioned that. However, when we go to a wide shot of the screen, you'll get a chance to see those beautiful, very, very, very tall and heavy Warrior Cup trophies.
They're huge.
And that's what they're competing for right now.
That's definitely for many, a once-in-a-lifetime achievement. All right, Sophia comes out of the gate strong, clean.
Now, this isn't a traditional form. This is, but also adding to dramatic effect by using music to enhance the form. It's still traditional, just a little bit of music for a little that extra pop.
Yeah, and with the Grand Championships at this level, and even if it's what you might say a special division like the Warrior Cup final, where there's more combined things going on, they're allowing the music with the performance to enhance that, because you have creative and extreme and traditional all going against each other. So if you can put together music that fits that, all that does is just add value, right?
Exactly.
So Sophia has really done a great job putting the music with the kata, as you can see, as it tones down as she finishes. Great timing.
I wonder if her brother DG also made it, her older brother. They do a fantastic blog or vlog. They will have one out after their experience here at the Warrior Cup. Always great. You can definitely find them on YouTube. And guess who's back?
Guess who's back? He should use that as his music. That's right.
You know what? Might have to suggest that to him.
So again, that last performance, Sophia, was great. Amazing traditional performance. And now you get to see, once again, Mr. Michael Molina and his extreme bow, representing Team Competitive Edge. Got a feeling he's going to try to maybe one-up himself a little bit here.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And here's the thing. Here's a question right now. Just as I look, we're not exactly near stage side, so I've got a pretty good straight view. Is the Warrior Cup taller than him?
Yes. The Warrior Cup is taller than Michael Molina. But the junior is smaller,
The
right?
junior's smaller.
Okay.
The overall Warrior Cup is taller than Michael Molina.
It is.
Because I was going to say, how is he going to get that home? That's going to be quite the challenge. But I guess his first task is to win it first.
He's got to win it first. And I assure you, his father, Andy, would figure it out. No problem. Oh, nice. Nice catch from Michael. So he's picking up where he left off just a little bit ago. Smooth, dynamic. He's got a great flow. He's had a lot of releases already, and it's just been on point. So, like, catching in a transition, catching during a spin, and not letting there be a hitch, so to speak, is definitely a skill. Great job from Michael on that.
We have an interesting question that came up in chat. I'm going to let you read this, and maybe we'll get to it between competition.
Okay.
So go ahead and read that and prep for it, see if we can answer that for them once Mr. Molina is done with this competition.
Fantastic.
That was 4 spins.
I am so glad that I was able to look in that second on that. That was fantastic. We talked about, was Michael going to push and try to one-up himself?
He went one more. He did 3, and this time 4.
More, and hit the split on that. Look, and he's playing the crowd.
I mean, he's only 10.
Listen, if you are not entertained with that, I love it. I love the spirit, positivity. I love him going for it. He went for broke. I mean, what does he have to lose, right? He's like, well, I have one knees.
You get one shot.
You get one shot. And again, that's another Eminem reference.
Is
that the Detroit going on?
It is because
Chicago.
we're close to Detroit. I mean, Detroit and Chicago are completely different, but we're close to 8 Mile. I mean, relatively speaking.
Hey, well, I got love for him. It's great.
100%.
Yeah, so great performance from our guy, Michael Molina, out of the San Antonio, Texas region. That was, again, he did try to one-up himself there and probably succeeded.
And absolutely way to push it.
All right, so Adeline is back from Johnstown, Colorado. She's 13 years old. We watched the sword performance earlier. Looks like she's going to come back with that.
Going to be a traditional form. No music this time.
Sometimes, competing against music, depending on the atmosphere, right?
Yes.
And depending on your dynamics and what you're bringing to the table with your performance, sometimes it's even better, or it captures the moment better. I mean, you used to see, going back just kind of a few eras, somebody like Marcel Jones.
Yes.
Who would perform, and I know he's been mentioned a lot lately, and rightfully so, but to watch him perform without music a lot was just as dynamic as anything else. I mean, he would bring the house down just from his power and presence.
The hardest part about watching Marcel Jones is that you really think he might jump over your head because he just had hops. I would swear he probably could jump up at one time and actually kick the rim. That's how high up he was able to leap.
Yeah, he was fantastic on a lot of levels. His hands, his lines, cleanliness, attention to detail, is fantastic. So he's definitely one of the greats, and a great example of being able to not just when you use him as an example of winning with something like that may be creative or creative / traditional. I mean, if you throw in the no music. Yeah, great example. And Adeline's had a great stage presence once again.
This form's been clean. It's been very clean.
Nice, strong ending, great balance on the final stab, so to speak.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he's definitely dead.
He's
definitely dead.
She wiped off any remnants.
No blood. No blood going into the sheath.
She's holding it. Nice job, ma'am. I enjoyed seeing that. All right, Adeline Lau, again from Colorado. Great job, ma'am. Double sword. In quote modern traditional manner.
Yes. Final competitor of this group, we are here representing Team America from New Jersey, Shane Billow. Apologize to my great friends up north, right 95, for the Jersey accent. It's probably terrible. I'm probably not doing it.
Kamala Khan from New Jersey. Is that right?
Kamala Khan.
She's from New Jersey.
I think you're right.
Marvel.
That's right. Ms. Marvel is from New Jersey. We knew we were going to get some comic
people at
references.
home don't understand how huge of comic nerds we are.
They're going to find out tonight.
They might find out in a few comments. So back to the stage, we have Mr. Shane Billow. And again, what we said earlier about him still holds true. And he had a great performance. Came out with that grand. So let's see if he can win the Junior Cup. Wow. Wow. So traditional bow, but with the modern speed and dynamics. Again, different eras of sport martial arts. It's fun to have those conversations about the state of modern traditional. Shane's a great example of having that power, having that stance work, having those lines, having that presence. And certainly, as you can see, incorporating the speed.
I mean, it reminds me when I first started competing, the man at the time was Michael Bernardo.
Michael Bernardo from Canada.
And I'm not going to say A after it, but
no, we wouldn't do that.
Fabulous competitor. I mean, just so quick, so clean.
Yes.
No music. I don't recall him ever using music.
He was so strong and he had a great presence too.
Indeed.
Shane Billow finishes so strong, like great presence, great again lines and dynamics, body posture on every turn. Great job from Shane Billow once again.
We did get a question. You want to take a stab at that, answering that?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the questions thrown out on this particular division was why juniors have boys and girls mixed in together for this, but the seniors do not. Now, obviously, you and I didn't create this, so we don't have the big answer, but I do know that the answer that we do have is that they only had a few Warrior Cups, for so many years.
Yes.
It was, like a forms and weapons and like a fighting. They just added the women's fighting not too long ago.
Correct.
Which was great. So now adding the Junior Cups was kind of a newer thing in a way. So they still aren't giving out a lot of those. They're sort of stingy with them.
Yes.
And it's more of an true overall where you have traditional versus creative. Now, as far as why they do it for the juniors versus, the adults, I don't know that there's a hard answer other than they're still trying to, keep it at the level of difficulty and how hard it is to obtain that. So, and many times the female athletes definitely outshine and beat the guys.
Yeah,
So,
that does happen. And as you can
All the
see,
time.
front and center right now, there is that Warrior Cup. Now, I'm looking. And
wait a minute, you just reminded me of when I was on stage for the Warrior Cup and I was destroyed by Lauren Kearney.
Oh, wow. You know what? Lauren Kearney is directly to our right, helping us put this fabulous show together. I'm going to have to bring that up after the show.
She did. She was amazing.
And the score, 49.87 for Sophia Rodriguez.
All right, fantastic score for Sophia Rodriguez. Again, great performance, traditional with the music, and
an
Mike with
8-8.
the
Wow.
vote.
Okay, he's in the lead. And once again, by my math, don't trust it, but still.
What diversity on the stage. Again, seeing what Sophia brought to the table,
Yes.
seeing Michael, seeing Adeline, and Shane ending the group. Fantastic. Great diversity there. It looks like he pulled the most nines.
Oh, wow.
You can do the math that way. Wow. What?
Look at the surprise on his face. That's a great shot right over the Warrior Cup.
Man,
and
that
truly,
is.
he's smiling. He wants to be humble. He wants to, of course, get in the traditional bow. Just a quick look of, the emotion that absolutely happens when you win something like this.
That was fantastic. So, we talked about how he was performing, when he was performing, and the dynamics behind that, and to capture that moment there and his emotion and how happy he was.
I just love Michael Molina. And he's only 10.
He understands how to just hype everybody.
Oh, 100%.
I love that. I love that. In fact, really, the entire Molina family understands that, and they support everybody. So I love seeing that from the youngest one. That's great. And congratulations to Shane Billow, the Junior Warrior Cup win. That was a huge win. Stage of fantastic competitors, all champions, right?
Yes.
Awesome win for Shane Billow. Great performance.
Up next, we have our Adult Warrior Cup Weapons Final, sponsored by Mat Action. Now, if you haven't heard of Mat Action, it was the software that helped make this tournament possible. Fabulous software developed to help run your tournament. It's been adopted and utilized by many tournaments over the past couple of years. It has made things absolutely smooth, so you can see when division is when it's going, when it's over, who's up, what their scores are, and it adds ability to record track. So if you wanted to know what your scores were from an event last year that had Mat Action, you can go and look that up, and you can understand, wow, Joe Perry gave me a 9.8 or he gave me a 9.7 or something like that. But it enables record keeping, which is something that the sport has been missing. Not to be and definitely not to discount this young man on the stage right now, representing Team Paul Mitchell from someone you're very familiar with from Lebanon, Tennessee, is Jake Presley. Jake
is, I think, way more known these days, from almost growing up on Team Paul Mitchell, so to speak. But he has been following in his older brother's footsteps, so to speak, but he really follows no more, and he hasn't. He's been a leader in the sport for a long time. He's grown up in the sport, great friends with his traditional and main instructor, Jason Warren, out of Lebanon, Tennessee. I've watched he and all of his family grow up, and it's a pleasure to see how they treat people, how serious they take the sport, how much they love the sport. Jake is just to see him grow, how powerful he is. And it's almost, if you look at Reed and Cole, his older brothers, and look at him, like he's his own man.
He is definitely coming to his own. And of course, don't forget, right on his heels is youngest sister and baby of the family, Avery Presley.
I've got a feeling we'll see her later on tonight, and she has really brought her game up the last year and a half. All right, so I love that move from Jake.
Floats. He absolutely just floats.
He's got it's traditional, but like his obvious CMX ability is high level, and to throw that move in this type of weapons pattern is great, to be able to do that dynamically and yet still of a traditional essence, and have that balance. It's powerful. He's very powerful with this. I actually was able to score the traditional grands earlier this afternoon, and he pulled out of that particular weapons division, and it's no surprise that he's nailing this now.
Did you give him a 9.8? No, I know he pulled.
I might have given him a 9.9 on the performance. But again, that was compared to others in that moment.
Yes.
He
And
earned that.
That's what he earned.
In that moment. That's correct. Not always, maybe, but he did then. And he might be on his way to one now. I don't know. We'll see.
Fantastic, explosive routine. For a brief second, let's talk about the benefit of going first or last. If you had your choice, would you want to go last or would you want to go first?
Last.
Everyone usually chooses last.
Yes.
But when you come out and you blow the doors off the place, it makes it hard to follow.
It does. It's almost one or the other, depending on how you look at it. I think I'd still choose last. All right, so coming to the stage, I'm excited to see this young man.
This was your pick.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see how he handles this moment. Last year he had some chances on some big stages and came through. Mm-hmm. So again, representing Team Paul Mitchell all the way from Canada, 18 years old, Esteban Tremblay. And he's a great young man, very nice, very polite always. I've seen him grow up. I competed against his father for many years. So we've been friends and competitors for years. So to see Esteban on the stage these days and only getting better has been a real treat. So I think what we're going to see is power, dynamics like we saw with Jake. And because Esteban's doing a creative extreme form, we're obviously going to see some high flying.
Yes. I've had to fight his dad. His dad's like 7'20".
Huge.
He's tall.
He's huge, and he's one of the nicest guys in the sport.
100%
Love
nice
Eric
guy.
Tremblay. Great guy. All right, so Esteban comes out. He's got some great speed, great dynamics. He's got a little bit of the hair flip.
Hair flip's definitely going to be in there.
That's his thing. Nice.
It's very unique to him. You got to make yourself stand out.
Well, he does. That's definitely been a signature type move for him, if you want to call it that. A little bit of flair.
Yeah, I can't do it.
You're missing hair.
I'm missing the key component.
you could rub it, I guess.
There
I don't know. Great over and behind the back net catch there from Esteban and flow. So nice weapons for him. He's got great combinations, great releases. Catches have been on point. Oh, nice underneath the leg, off the double finger, smooth, and it had a slight pause there. Mm-hmm. So a lot of times he ends with a big trick, right, or a big trick and even catch, which is super risky. There you didn't see that, but you saw a little kind of a cool flow at the end.
Yes. And also, being that this is the first major tournament of this year, we get to see what everybody's been working on during, quote-unquote, the off-season, which I think is the shortest.
It was a short off-season.
Very short.
Next up, representing Team Diamond from Homestead, Florida, 27-year-old
Right. All right, so this is a crowd favorite.
Yes.
No doubt, right? So from Homestead, Florida, 27 years. I can't believe he's 27 years old.
Yes.
Get out of here. Rashad Eugene.
Creative describes this young man, not only in his martial arts talent, but in his life. If you don't follow him on social media, look up his Instagram. He's always doing something creative. I love that he posts 6 a.m. He's in the dojo getting his workout on before. I think he opens up that where the dojo is that he's training at. And then sometimes he's posting at midnight. He stayed after teaching classes. Or he's designing shoes with original airbrushed artwork. This man has just got everything going on.
He absolutely does. Speaking of his side business, so to speak, of the shoe work, I have a pair. So,
you got a pair, okay.
Oh, my goodness. Rashad was nice enough. We commissioned him to do a pair of Promac shoes, and he did a great job with those. So we'll shout out. You can find him on social media and get in touch. He does a great job with that. All right, out of the gate, nice high-flying X out. Lands great balance. Poise. He's got the double bow, like our old friend Reed Preston.
Yes, indeed. The offsetting colors of the bow also help out so you can keep track of them as he performs.
Christmas colors with the green and red.
Hey, there's still Christmas lights up in my neighborhood. Not at my house. Not at my house.
Might have my tree in the corner. No comment.
No comment. No judging. No comments.
All right, so Rashad, again, a crowd favorite because his presence, the way that he performs, dynamic. He plays to the crowd, and he always pushes the envelope a little bit. He's going to try something a little different. He's not afraid to make something look different or use a different combination, just like that catch. That was nice. So, looking at what he does, okay, you see a lot of what everybody does, and then all of a sudden he just pulls some spin, some flip, some throw.
Something that no one has done before.
Yeah,
it's always
great.
different.
So, I'm thinking he might have pulled back a last section there. I don't know. He's usually a little longer, but what he did and how that performance was fantastic. Nailed that. Great transitions, great catches. That was awesome.
One of the things you mentioned, just to slide this in real quick, a lot of times these competitors have decided, you know what, I'm going to pull back that last bit. I'm not going to risk it. It's a formula to decide. The trouble with that, as a traditional competitors, is that if it's a traditional form, you can't amend something like that because the judges know what that form looks like.
That's right.
So you got to do the whole thing. Up on the stage right now from Team Paul Mitchell, also from Lebanon, Tennessee, is Mr. Clean himself, Dawson Holt, and we have another double sword routine.
Now, we haven't seen Dawson throw the double sword often. In fact, I'm really racking my brain to see if I've seen him do double. So he usually has the single. I watched that earlier in the weapons grant, and he's single, and he's so clean, so powerful, dynamic, great young man, polite, respectful, hardworking, and to watch him grow up has been a pleasure to see how far he's come as well. Man, the way he's controlling the weapons, having one sword is a handful, so to speak.
Indeed.
Much less two, and to be able to have strong techniques, dynamic cuts, blocks, and of course, adding in the creativity, adding in the tricking with the throw on the double sword there. Like, you've got to stay focused. Look at that. There's a drop.
Unfortunate.
Yeah, that's tough. But look, he's going to pick it up. He's going to keep going. Comes out with a huge X out at the end. He's like, here's what I've got. Here's how I can perform. Love it.
And once again, an unfortunate mistake by one competitor is an open door for someone else.
It is, yeah. The reality of that is, even though I love that Dawson has continued to go and show the crowd what's up, it does open the door up in reality, right? So
indeed, I mentioned before to Reed Presley a couple years ago. I do believe it was at the U.S. Open. He was getting ready to go up, and the first four competitors before him dropped their weapons. And I asked him later, and I said, if you see that, do you adjust your kata right there? Because they've kind of taken themselves out of the competition. Do you modify something, or does that throw you off? Because dropping seems to be contagious sometimes.
Right. People can get in their head.
Yeah,
right?
It's just like someone says, hey, don't miss this kick. And all you can think about is
missing
this
the kick. All right, so back to the stage. Representing Team Paul Mitchell, once again, Miss Haley Glass. She's got the dynamic music, bringing the drama. Love it.
Taking a look at this form right now, a definite big point to bring up that if Haley wins, she will join an elite, and we'll say sorority, of women to have beaten men for Warrior Cups. So it's certainly possible.
More than possible. She's fantastic. Again, one of the best performers and best competitors on any level. Male, female. She's dynamic. I love watching the presence. Like, look at her face. And just,
intense.
Not anyone you would take lightly.
No, definitely not.
Great job, man. Once again, I'm so happy to be in this
Not
seat
in that
tonight.
judge's seat.
I'm so excited. I love officiating. I love judging. I love giving value in that way to the sport. And trying to make a positive difference and improve that part of the game. So I do love all of that. But nights like this, I love being in this seat just as a fan, really, much less to get to talk about all the athletes.
Exactly. This is, a lot easier than sitting and judging. All you have to do is talk for, 2-3 hours. Yeah, it's good,
It is.
Up now, we have from Connecticut and also a member of Team Paul Mitchell, Samuel Diaz.
Sam is such a genuine, nice gentleman. He treats everyone with respect and has a great presence about him. And you talked about training regimens and training discipline earlier with some of the athletes. He has that as well, and he's been sharing a lot you see on social media. So, kudos to Sam because he's not a young chicken.
No, he's not a spring chicken. We know that.
Yes.
But intensity-wise, he's going to bring it.
Oh, he always brings it. I love watching his dynamics. He's doing traditional kama work, and sometimes you see that with the strings, a la Cordova with, the flying kamas. And although you may not see Sam throw the flying kama,
right,
he's still using it traditional kama, the wrap, the style. Obviously also the kata that goes with that. Great energy. He has that certain traditional dynamic with all of his movements and the way he kias, his yell. So it's always of that essence, and Sam is definitely one of the top competitors in the game with that.
I do believe we all echo this comment that was just put there. Uncle Sam is a treasure.
He is a treasure. A great gentleman. Nice. He's showing he's got a real dynamics himself with
yes.
that, right? Great job, sir. Love it. The crowd appreciates the dynamics, giving Sam the love. Executed a great kata. He should be proud of that. That was clean, nice, strong. Now, how does that compare? Again, that's again a recurring theme with a final show like this, where we have such diversity, and you're doing apples and oranges, and
yes.
It is an overall grand. I know that as they set up, talking about grand championships in the sport, again, running the the Promac League and running, helping with NASCA, I see and get to talk to a lot of people talking about grand championships and how they're set up and all the different opinions, on how that is in the sport. And I love it. I love to see how people are looking at it. And over the years, it seems to change too,
yes.
a little bit.
Yes.
They say, well, we want more grand champions, or we want less grand championships, or to the question earlier, kind of playing to that a little bit is, do you do overall championships that are multiple, creative, traditional, extreme against each other, and is that grand champion? Or do you have a traditional grand champion
right.
and a creative grand champion?
Musical. You can keep going down.
You can keep going. It's like, how far do you go? But I as a fan, I love to see all of it. But as a when you look at the promoter box, or coordinating this, or organizing this, or even from a competitor point,
right.
We all want to win, but do you want a little bit more of a challenge?
Right. And one of the things, I just looking at these competitors as they wait patiently for the judges to score, I have to absolutely respect, because Sam is taking the traditional stance as he's kneeling, waiting for this. And I'd be sitting there waiting like, man, judges, you gotta hurry it up.
Yeah.
I may be able to get down here and kneel, but I may not be able to get back up if they're taking their sweet time. Scores are up.
Ooh, here we go. Jake Presley with a 49.94. Nice.
And looks like we've got a 49.87 for
Esteban.
Nice. All right.
Rashad, 49.84. Nice score. And that's a great group. Again, we had the drop there,
drop.
but man, what a lineup on stage right now. 49.75, which is in the finals. If my memory serves me correct, we always give a 5
Correct.
For that instead of pulling them out of the scoring system. It's essentially a last place score because of that, which makes sense.
Yes.
Haley scored great. And then what do we have for Sam? 49.81. Great lineup, all champions, winners of multiple divisions over the weekend, and not to mention past events. But the Warrior Cup goes to who? What's the math there?
Jake Presley.
And he came out of the gate first.
Yes, we were just talking about that.
Which
First versus last.
He came out first, set the tone, and said, top this, right?
Yeah. You know what? I'm going to set things. I'm going to set the stage. And I believe he's holding his hands up, and that is 6. Is that 6 Warrior Cups for him?
Well, think about Jackson Rudolph.
Yes.
Who everybody loves Jackson. Was his Team Sync partner. And he did junior. He's won junior cups. Now he's an adult. I think the last couple of years of winning a few. He might have 6. And I don't think they did Team Sync for cups. I brought that up.
I was going to wonder if you do a Team Sync, who takes the cup home?
Yeah, I brought that up, but I think I was excited to give him a little bit of love. But as a junior, I believe he won a few as well as the last few there for the adults. So congratulations to Jake Presley. So dynamic, such a great presence. His traditional weapon is definitely dominating. If you look at percentage to watch when he's been able to go for that. But again, he just reiterated that to Mike.
And they just called out 6 Warrior Cups. The Presley space has got to be crowded.
They probably have like 27 in the house.
That's a big piece of furniture to have. I think that's going to make its way to a karate school.
I think they do have a few there. Their studio, their premier martial arts studio there in Lebanon, Tennessee. So much credit to them and their entire group. Jason Warren again, the lead coach, giving us all types of champions over the years. That's amazing.
Now you called these guys out earlier. We have our NASCA Demo Team champions. It is Team Infinity from Madison, Wisconsin, taking the stage now. You are in for a treat if you've not seen this before. Can you break it down for us what they're about to see? Because it's different than Team Sync, different than kind of that you've seen. We've got multiple team members on the stage right now, multiple weapons. So what kind of are they about to see?
It is. So with Team Sync type competitions, it's normally 2 to 4 competitors, depending on the rules or what they're doing. And they're in sync the large majority of that routine, whatever that might be, a weapons routine, form, traditional, creative. With demonstration division, it's larger groups, obviously, on stage, it's filled up, right? And it could be a smaller group, but large groups. And there will be a lot of this that's synchronized, and there are many components that aren't synchronized. You may have fight choreography, extreme or creative choreography, traditional, self-defense, weapons, breaking, acrobatics, a mixture. It's a demonstration, and these young athletes are some of the top demonstration performers in the country year after year. Again, Mike Welch, kind of the overall mastermind of Team Infinity with a few others from that area, but he's been the lead coach and usually performs with the team. And I competed with him back in the day for many years and have so much respect for what they put together up there with their multiple schools. And, of course, their competition team and demo team is world class.
This is usually a definite, eye-catcher when you're performing maybe at a mall or a fair or something like you see something like this, and it drives parents to the karate school saying, hey, can my kid learn this?
It does, especially demonstration and creative type martial arts. When you're a studio owner, so all the studios owners out there listening, over the years, I owned studios for 27 years, was always really big on demonstration team and creative, not because I thought that made the athletes better fighters, although it does, if you train them correctly to get the physical dynamics and benefits from that. I mean, watch these young athletes right here. They have to be on point, their hand-eye coordination, their muscle dexterity, all of those things. So they're becoming a better athlete, which can make them a better anything. And better focus. But I focused on that many years as a school owner and to make sure that we had an entertaining demonstration team that was diverse and showcased everything we did, but definitely highlighted things like you're seeing here with the entertainment value. So when you go to a basketball halftime show or set up a booth at the local show, to perform like this, it's great that it's entertaining. It's not boring, and even if they don't understand the karate, they're like, wow, that's awesome.
That looks so cool. And it's always something to watch because you're going to have different ages of team members. You're going to have young men, young women. Sometimes you even have kids that are out here, and sometimes their first experience competing is on a team demonstration stage like this.
For many of the athletes on this level, the first time on the stage as part of a large team is with demo. So they get that experience on the stage and, be under these lights. It's a different feeling. And back, to what you're seeing on the stage, again, Team Infinity on point. You're seeing so many passes, so many interchanges of sections. Are they doing a bow section, chuck section, empty hand section, different passes in between to transition. And of course, if there's a drop or a miscue, they've got to keep rolling.
They've got to keep going. And this is actually something that, if you think about it, there are teams for karate. We've mentioned Team Paul Mitchell, Team Infinities, and so forth. This really can be a school activity because you need everyone here to practice this routine. You need to have your teammates together because this is so large and so many parts moving. A universal back flip from all team members.
Nice.
So the only way to practice that is to be in the same school at the same time.
It is. Great performance from Team Infinity. Those guys nailed it. So congrats to, again, Mike Welch and all of Team Infinity. Great job.
A good workout can be elusive, disappearing the moment you look away at some other interest in your schedule. Our attention is divided, and life moves quickly. It can pass you by, even as you're living it. But not you. You make it work. You make the time. The fighting spirit haunts you, and you want to keep it close. Right there in your home, where you can keep up the fight. Perfect at-home workout lives on in a new age. The Century Ghost Wavemaster. Ethereal design. Real results.
And a great commercial by Century featuring our national anthem presenter, Gabrielle Dunn-Rudolph. Great work there, and looks like we are heading into the fighting part of the tournament.
That. Hey, shout out to our friends at Century Martial Arts.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I love what they're doing, and they're a great company. Take care of school owners and people. So great to see that, and Gabrielle was amazing in that commercial. So great spot.
As we start to they're introducing the fighting judges as they take the stage. We definitely want to remind all of you in the comment section, thank you very much for your comments. We certainly appreciate the love out there. For those of you that are wanting to see more entertainment and programs like this, make sure you subscribe to either sportmartialarts.com or Warrior Cup or even Black Belt, which we're streaming over right now. We'll be bringing content like this throughout the calendar year for these tournaments. Now, for something that you may not have seen before, we're going to go on, and this is Point Sparring. Just to explain the rules of Point Sparring briefly, you have two competitors going over what you can't do first. There is no ground fighting. No strikes to the groin, no strikes to the throat. All hand techniques are allowed. The entire headgear, and opponents will be wearing headgear. The entire headgear is a target. Hand techniques being awarded 1 point. Kicking techniques to the body and the head are worth 2 points. You must complete the technique while standing up. If you fall over, the technique should not be counted. Must stay in bounds. A 2-minute time limit. Max points awarded. Winner moves on for a chance at their own Warrior Cup.
I love fighting. Coming from forms and weapons background as a competitor into the last few years of competing, getting into the fighting divisions, I loved every single minute of it. And being a fighter, obviously with traditionally in a studio so long, I love it, and I love judging it. I love seeing it progress as well. A lot of people don't talk about that as much.
Yeah.
The forms and weapons evolution.
You can see the evolution there, but Point Sparring has gone through an incredible evolution. I mean, there's a guy to mention out there named Raymond Daniels. The new Raymond Daniels right now, and I have to give the crown to, is Bailey Murphy, who we will see later on here.
Absolutely.
Looks like we've got Richard Plowden versus Chad Cannon. I think I saw that correctly.
Is that right?
Yes. Chad Cannon will be on the blue side, coming from Team Gypsy and from Texas, 34 years old, representing Team Impex, KTOC, from Detroit, Michigan, 29-year-old Avery Plowden, who, by the way, is also an attorney. He is Matt Murdock. He is
So-
essentially Matt Murdock.
He's essentially Matt Murdock, but if you punch him too hard, does he get to sue you? Or
You know what? I think he's going to counter.
I think he's going to,
I
he's
think
going to
he's
give you a
definitely gonna
counter offer.
Sometimes you might want to take
That
him
was
suing
bad.
you.
Sorry. It's the dad joke coming at me, guys. Forgive me. Give me one.
It's no problem. Everybody gets one, as they would say.
That's great. No, I love the thought of this matchup. There, I didn't know we have the bracket for the Warrior Cup in fighting, as you mentioned, and how they earned that in the first round being.
Looks like we've got to switch up. They've changed things around. Bailey Murphy is up first. Okay. And Christian Rivas, who, by the way, did defeat Avery Plowden in the divisional runoff. So a lot of props to him. I saw that fight. It was exciting.
Well, all right. So skipping to these two fighters, I don't care what order they do. I mean, I'm excited to see them.
Exactly.
Obviously, you spoke about Christian beating Avery today in the final of the heavyweight. Watching them last night, Christian's always on point, and he's been highlighted in a few different ways over the last couple of years from fighting. Whether it be our friends at VF or some of the other events. So he is a tough matchup for anybody, but he's probably facing the #1 point fighter in the country at this moment. Right?
Exactly. Bailey Murphy in the black, purple, and yellow, who just received 1 point from that blitz, and Christian in Team Legend. Christian being 23 years old, and Bailey being 22 years old, getting ready to graduate from college, a criminal justice major. Gotta love that.
Both these guys are fantastic gentlemen. Bailey, I've had him at Arkansas Open event for seminars and been around him for years. Always polite, respectful, and as an athlete, you can already see, if you haven't seen much, that he's super fast.
Very fast. I got a chance to work out with him. I think it was about 5 years ago in Florida. I was like, I just want to see the speed, man. Let's go up there. Sometimes you just need to see it for yourself. As Murphy has a 3-0 lead, it looks like Christian did get one, so it's 3-1. To score, judges have to agree. That was a great side kick by Christian. Let's see if the judges are going to call that. No, looks like Murphy got there first with the hands.
Yeah, it has to be majority call on the judges in the corners plus the center. Terry Kramer, as they introduced earlier.
The great Terry Kramer.
The legendary Terry Kramer. St. Louis area. So Murphy picks up a point. It's 5-1. Bailey leads.
And so one of the things you want to kind of concentrate on, if you haven't seen this before, it is a spacing game with point sparring. You notice right now sometimes the competitors they'll come together really quick, and maybe Bailey's going to blitz, or he's going to wait. He's going to see if Christian's going to come in. He's got to try to hit him with that punch underneath. But right now, as Christian extends that space, and you see how he extended the space and then counter with that quick back fist, he gave Bailey space, then he took it away with a quick counter. So it's a game of push and pull with point sparring and explosiveness. I would have gone with Christian for that. Looks like the judges disagree with me, and no point was given. 2-7. Bailey leading, and looks like we have 7 seconds left in this first round. I think it's only one round for the qualifying rounds, with a 2-round spread in the final.
In the final? Nice. Yeah, well, if that's the case, then Bailey Murphy will move on.
Yes, he does.
Yep. So I think the odds were in his favor, betting wise. So
betting wise, indeed.
Christian earned his spot there and did a wonderful job. Great fight. Bailey had great timing, good little pace, and just eased up when he could. So that was a nice win for him to move on to the final round.
Now back to our original match. We've got representing Team Gypsy. We've got Chad Cannon. He will be in the blue corner, or rather, he looks like he's going to be in the red corner. And we've got Richard Avery Plowden from Detroit, Michigan, 29 years old, as we mentioned before, an attorney, son of the great Richard Plowden. We will also see his sister, Morgan Plowden, later on for the ladies' edition of the Warrior Cup.
I love it. Chad Cannon from Texas. I've been able to be around him, for quite a few years. A great guy, works hard. He's part of a studio owner down in the Austin area. Does a great job with his students. Young man. And has been on Team Gypsy for a while, and now he's in his 30s, but he's been competing his entire adult career, and always a top fighter as well as forms and weapons competitor when he wants to.
Yes, now that's a rare bird to see guys that do forms, weapons, and sparring.
Absolutely.
And then they'll come out here and fight as well. They'll throw down with everyone else. Just to distinguish both competitors, Richard Avery Plowden is in the white headgear and Chad is in the red headgear.
Right.
Not sure what the slowdown is right now. I'm not sure if there was a scoring glitch or something right now, but we're going to get that fixed right away as the competitors try to stay warm. They're going to pace. You got to not let this thing rattle you. Something like that happens, you got to be ready to go. And it looks like we're ready with the action. And Plowden comes right away with that body punch, scoring right away.
Nice. Plowden's really on automatic.
Yes.
He's got the rhythm, the game. It's like he's got an answer. We made the joke about the countering earlier, but he's got an answer for everything. Whether he scores or it goes his way or not, he's always in that moment, and it's great to see. That's the mark of a true professional.
And as you saw right there, Chad did blitz from a great distance away. Plowden took a step back. Looks like the Chad did get that point, and he countered with the body punch. The judges did go with Chad. Looks like there was a kick scored by Plowden, so he goes 2 points ahead. We wait for our scoreboard to pop back up so we can keep an accurate score. I might have to keep it manually.
Yeah, absolutely.
Avery's going to give him a couple of kicks there to keep him distracted. Chew a little time up on the clock. Looks like he scored first.
I think Chad's playing a smart physical game of staying away from Avery. He's playing more of a distance move game. And, of course, if you've ever been next to Avery Plowden, you don't want to get ran over by him.
That's true. Looks like there is a slight adjustment to do with the glove. I'm glad he wasn't grabbing his shoulder. We know that Avery did have his shoulder
maybe
injury.
an eye. Maybe it's his contact.
You know what? I think that is the case.
Maybe.
I've always wondered how guys spar with contacts, but I guess it's better than glasses,
I would think it's better than glasses. And if you're wondering about the rule at home, there's equipment rules in this game.
Yes.
About, if your glove came off or came undone multiple times, or whether it was because of an exchange.
Yes.
Or if it's a bad piece of equipment, you can get penalized for that.
Yes, you can, because it constantly falling off is going to be pretty much, it's going to draw time away from the competitor. It's not the other competitor's fault.
That's right.
For something like that. So, yes, you could be penalized. Great step in back fist by Avery right there.
He's been working that all weekend, judging open weight fighting last night and a few of his fights. That step in,
Yep.
is very, very dominant. And Raymond Daniels, you mentioned him earlier. He had a great step in as well.
Yes, indeed. And one of the things that is definitely fair to share up here, that Avery is a heavyweight, and
Yes.
he is moving quite fast.
He's one of the best athletes in the game. He takes care of himself, eats right, great, works out. He shares that.
Yes.
I like he actually shares on social media quite a bit, so you can follow Avery Plowden on social media, and I think you'll be inspired. He shares a little bit of his working out, and of course his professional work that he does, but I love watching him continue to contribute in a lot of ways to the community.
Yes,
But he
indeed.
leads by example.
Indeed. Just like his parents. Not just through his daddy there, but his
Absolutely.
mother and father. It's a great family. As I mentioned before in the opening of the show, when you have someone with the last name of Plowden in your bracket, you really have to take notice, and it's going to be a tough night of work.
And he really pulled that fight. As we talked there at the last section of that fight, watching him pick up a few extra points there. Chad is a world-class fighter. His movement,
Yes.
his timing, he's definitely in the top level of the game. And to see him fight Avery right there, and Avery just expanded that out to 7-3 towards the end, real nice and easy. Or it looked easy, but it wasn't, because Chad beats 95% of the people on the mat, most of the time. So fantastic display of point fighting right there from truly a few of the best in the world. And we get to see his sister now.
Yes, indeed. The older sibling is Morgan Plowden, just watching her younger brother
Right?
out there on the stage. And this is the Women's World Cup final.
All right, so one fight here.
One fight
This
here.
is the
Actually,
final.
2 rounds, one fight.
2 rounds, one fight. All right. Okay. There we go. So Katarina and Morgan. Katarina in the black and green. Morgan's in the black and gold. Got a little bit of distance measuring up there, but did they like the kick? Yes.
Looks like they did. Now, Catalina's much taller than Morgan.
that height difference is a bear in point fighting, is it not?
Listen, from someone who's been short all his life, it's tough. And especially looks like she's got the kicks going. So Morgan's got to fight a very strategic fight here. She's got to stay outside of the kicking range, but close enough that she can blitz in and throw her hands. Because right now Catalina's going to be playing with those legs. She's going to hope to get a kick. Morgan playing the close game. Step in, just like baby brother, and gets a point.
Nice. I love it. I love seeing masterclass in technique, in point fighting. The stepping, the timing. Look at that underneath. See what the judges thought.
They're going to go Catalina. So 3-2, nice. 3-1.
She's playing the perfect game on her side with the kicking game and the distance game. But to see Miss Plowden with a few of the step-ins and the timing, man, it's great. And
Miss Plowden with quite a few Warrior Cup trophies herself.
Are we going to be the reverse or the back fist there? Which one?
I think it's going to go the reverse, yes.
David Plowden. And as an official, the other officials aren't on the stage. They're a little further away, and they're down, so their angle is different, right? It's a little different than normal. The best seat in the house there is Terry Kramer, of course, with the center position, but he still has to acknowledge all of the judges to see, if we have a majority call. And, of course, they're calling from their angle the best they can. In our view, may be a little different than some of the officials.
You can only call what you should see. You should
only call
what you see. And it looks like that Morgan's knotted it up at 3 right now.
Nice. All right, 10 seconds. Is she going to back up and give her time, or going to try to score at the end here?
Or will we go to sudden victory? Oh, there's a blitz.
What's it going to be?
Let's see. I'm going to go Morgan. No call.
No call and time. Wow, that's exciting. All right, here we go. So sudden victory.
Sudden victory.
Love it.
One mistake here or one correct gamble. Looks like there's a blitz. I think the Catalina got that.
It looked from back here, it looked like Catalina.
There's the point.
She did. Wow, that's an upset.
That is definitely an upset. I thought it would be 2 rounds, but I am mistaken. And your new 2023 Warrior Cup winner from Ontario, Canada, Catalina Herman. Congratulations. Definitely an upset, but you know what? Hats off and credit to her. She utilized her tool set. She utilized her length to get her first, I think is her first Warrior Cup.
It is fantastic. That's a huge win. That's an upset win. And Katarina's, her skill level on full display there. Her kicking, her movement, her timing. Yes. Morgan made a run.
Yes.
You could say made a run, there, and then coming back. And then that last exchange at the bell, before they went into sudden victory was, depending on the angle, that was nice, but she survived it and just absolutely, comes out on top. And look at that smile. Love it.
Yes.
Congratulations. That was exciting.
Run.
Royal Caribbean, they've got our tickets.
Yeah, you know what? Let's definitely makes me feel like going on a cruise. Cruise season is coming up.
Absolutely, let's go. All right, so the Junior Sparring Grand Championship awards presentation, is that right?
I do believe that is correct.
So these athletes being named, I don't know that they're going to come up on stage. It wasn't very clear on that, but he's being called out and noted. So Angel Perez, winner of the 10-11 boys black belt. Emma Floyd was the winner of the 10-11 girls. So at home, if, of course, not sure if you're able to hear Mike clearly there, we just want to give these competitors some love.
Yes, indeed.
And give them the same exposure. So Luis Rivera Falcon is the winner of the 12 and 13 boys black belt. Gabriel Campbell was the winner of the 12-13 girls. Sebastian Villanueva, and I actually got to see that young man fight quite a bit. He is fantastic young athlete. Winner of the 14-15 boys black belt. And Jennifer Beverte.
Yep.
So I apologize if I said that incorrectly, ma'am.
This is why I'm letting you read it.
Well, I mean, if I mess up, I apologize with respect. I would love to get the name correct.
Indeed.
You know, winner of the 14-15 girls black belt, and George Staniker is the winner of the 16-17 boys, and Camilla, is that maybe McCloskey?
Yes, I think that's correct.
Winner of the 16-17 girls black belt. So they all earned championships earlier today in youth fighting overalls.
So now we have the final of the Men's Warrior Cup, which is actually a rematch of the open weight final from yesterday. Now, what we mean by open weight is that we have a division in which all male athletes can enter. Weight and age are not taken into a factor. So if I wanted to jump in there in 51, I could jump in open weight and I could compete against whoever I match up with.
Because in our sport, we have multiple age groups
Yes,
and
indeed.
weight classes.
Yes, indeed. And you had 50 athletes in open weight, and Avery beat Bailey by 1 point yesterday. It came down to sudden victory. So this is a rematch. Avery getting his Warrior Cup berth by winning the open weight, and Bailey earning his spot by being the lightweight champion from today.
I was on the mat officiating that match last night.
Oh, yeah.
And excited to be there, exciting to actually have to ref that. And these guys are gentlemen on the mat.
Mm-hmm.
They know what they're doing. They're professionals. You can't mess up. You know, as you just saw, Avery notated whatever he said there to Master Kramer. And they know what they're doing. They know their flow. And, you know, it's an honor, really, obviously, to officiate these guys, these athletes.
It is looks like it's going to be 2-1. Now, you notice that Avery continued to hit Bailey right there. That's because the head judge did not call stop.
That's
so
right.
you continue to, and he attacked the legal target areas. Got earning the hand point. Now it's 2-2.
It's all above the belt, point fighting, no leg
Indeed.
kicking.
And if you're just joining late, Bailey Murphy is in the black headgear and Avery Plowden is in the white headgear. Current score is 2-2. This is one round. Winner gets a Warrior Cup. Hook kick by Avery. Did it go? Looks like Plowden countered.
I have no doubt this is going to be a close fight. Last night it was one at the last exchange. Avery hitting with that step in.
Step in back fist.
To win, absolutely. So this should probably be more of the same. Ooh, nice. So is it the reverse?
It's going to be the reverse punch by Avery Plowden. 4-3. It's just inching just along. No one's running there. And you notice Avery's fading with that back fist because he's anticipating Bailey exploding and running into that back fist. Looks like Avery has got to make an equipment adjustment. Again, he's suffering that shoulder injury a couple years ago, but looks like he's okay.
As a fighter, you talk about him fading back with the back fist to hit
Yes.
Bailey. I would think that his strategy would be to use his length and size, right?
To go forward,
so
yes.
he wants to keep the distance and only explode enough
Just
to keep
enough
Bailey
to
out, right?
Exactly. And what we've seen right now is a great adjustment by Avery. He's changed not only the angle, but with dealing with Bailey's explosiveness, he's able to get that lead left hand up for a back fist. Let's see Bailey try to counter side kick. Did it score? Did not.
I thought it did from this
I
angle.
thought
but
it did
again,
too.
We're
6
here,
seconds
so.
to go.
Ooh.
There was a great exchange right there. It's a 1 point differential.
I thought Bailey hit him
No.
with that counter as well.
And it looks like that this time that Avery's going to win, denying Bailey his first Warrior Cup, 5-4. You know, it can be a little bit frustrating sometimes. I don't want to necessarily mention this as an example, but Jack Felton fighting his teammate Raymond Daniels and beating him at the end. These guys aren't teammates, but it's sometimes that guy in your way that you lose to, and then the next year you're thinking, this is not going to happen again. I'm not going to deal with it again.
Well, I know that Bailey, despite Bailey's frustration right there with that last exchange and the point value, you see he had great respect.
Oh, always,
So
always.
gave respect and bow out to the competitor, his opponent, judges, and he stepped to the side. Congratulations to Avery Plowden on the big win. You got the Century Martial Arts crew up there. Chastity, she's a great connection at Century.
Indeed.
And Hunter Lyon and Master
John
John Sharkey. congratulations to Mr. Richard Plata. He's also a comic book fan. I know that.
Yes.
Speaking with him a little bit on the side. But that was
Y'all better watch out for that young boy. JPM, baby.
Next up, the 13 and under.
All right, back from that great commercial spots featuring Alex Macias. Looks like we're going to 13 and under NASCA Overall Grand Championship Black Belt forms.
Fantastic. So, first up, representing Team Revolution.
All the way from Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico. I
Yes.
love it. Maybe I can go visit.
I've heard it's beautiful there.
I heard it as well. But from Puerto Rico, 11-year-old Angel Perez will be the first competitor in this particular division.
Now, this is a young man that we also met on the virtual tour. Every time I remember when the camera was on him, I would see the beautiful landscape of Puerto Rico and everything, and he was absolutely phenomenal in his traditional kata every single time.
Dynamic.
Good to see him come on over and start competing as we started going back to live tournaments.
In person, it's a little different, right?
Yes, it's a little bit different, but a lot better.
Well, to see what we went through during that particular time, and for a little shout out, it wasn't asked, but SMA developing the virtual tour and those opportunities for competitors to compete on the line and be able to still sharpen their blade, fantastic.
Indeed, definitely so.
It was great to see, and it's great to see a lot of the athletes that participated in that transition and come on out and come into play.
The stage helpers went out to adjust the mats, as you can believe, with all of that point sparring, all of that movement. You might have separated the mats a little bit, so they're just making sure everything's there nice and tight for these competitors to come out on it.
Love it. All right, so as we mentioned, from Puerto Rico on the stage now, 11-year-old Angel Perez. Angel representing Team Revolution, and you mentioned earlier kind of giving them
support.
A little shout out for their level of support. And I've got to say that head coach Canelo Lovelace, in my opinion, one of the nicest coaches on the circuit, so to speak, on the circuit, just out in open martial arts and sport karate, and the way that he treats his athletes and is encouraging them to share the sport and be out in the community, and their level of cheerleading and encouraging is great. It's great for the sport to see teams have that positive energy and not just be, we want to, knock everybody out all the time, the fighter mentality. Right, it's great to see the support and it translates, as young athletes, just like Angel on stage right now, to have that group of people on the side of the stage cheering for you like that and giving you, it's empowering.
And just before he turned this opposite direction, he was facing all of them, and I count at least 25 people standing up right now directly to his back currently that are supporting him. Now, they're not overpowering him with cheers and everything, because this is traditionally one who do focus, remain strong, hit every single movement, keep those lines nice and tight.
That's right. I love that. So kudos to Revolution and Canelo Lovelace for building that culture. It's great for the sport.
100% hats off to them.
Angel's doing a great job, kind of letting him perform here, and he's caught a nice pace, nice stance work from the young man. And again, if you're a coach, an instructor, or practitioner out there of any type of traditional martial arts. It doesn't have to be Japanese-based, like this young man doing, traditional, what we, in the category of Japanese, Okinawan kata. You could be Taekwondo, you could be whatever, but, traditional karate, martial arts, you've got to appreciate the level of focus, the level of
the level of dedication that you have to do. This isn't something you just roll out of the bed and say, hey, I'm going to go and do it, 3-minute kata with this much intensity. You got to put work in over and over and over and constantly improve the weak areas. A lot of times we love to focus on where we're strong. The champions focus on where they're weak, making that stronger.
True mastership is when you take one of your weaker points and you master that and you make it a strength.
Indeed.
Martial arts should resonate that. Great job from Angel Perez. Great job. Great poise on the stage from that young man. Again, I reiterate to those at home, if you're on the stage in the finals, it's the pressure cooker.
Yes.
You have all the lights. You have the sound. You have a Power Ranger on the mic out there.
A legit Power Ranger.
You have a legit Power Ranger on the mic. You just had Avery Plowden on the stage, back fisting people. I mean, so it's pressure, and you have, thousands of people here this weekend, and all the people in this ballroom. It's a lot of pressure.
On the stage right now from Team Freestyle from San Diego, California, 13-year-old Judah Segura. Opening up with a multiple kick routine.
So that was fantastic focus from Judah. Like one of my favorite teams. I love Will Jackson, their coach out of California. They bring a great energy, a great presence, usually in team demonstration. So demonstration earlier from Infinity. Judah is kind of considered the leader of that team in a way, being one of the more prolific performers, competitors that makes it to the finals individually. So he's growing up before our eyes, getting stronger, and he's really known for being powerful in this younger age group and bringing the high-level tricking and just dynamics to his routines. Wow. I couldn't tell on the last little section there from this angle. I wasn't sure, how he nailed that, but I could tell at the ending coming out, it's a little different than how he normally is.
Yes.
So I wasn't sure if he just changed that or if there was a step that I couldn't see. But great job from this viewpoint from Judah Sagwell. As always, great young man, great performer. That was definitely a high-level extreme for him.
We'll get the judges a few minutes to calculate their scores.
We've got some great judges up on the panel.
Oh, indeed.
A few great, so to speak, old-school promoters.
Yes.
49.93 for Angel. I threw that out there pretty quickly. Sometimes they'll read all the scores individually, but it seems like tonight they're throwing that out, right? There you go. You can see on the screen.
And it looks like Angel's going to take this.
Wow. So, from the seat, I would say Angel takes that. He did a great job. Maybe in the corner, the thing that I mentioned that maybe I wasn't real sure.
Slight difficulty in the landing.
Might have been it. Yeah, and at home, your viewpoint at home, you might have seen that. Maybe you didn't. But that's, again, from this viewpoint, that was on my mind, and the scores and that performance might lead to that. But Angel Perez coming through. Look at that smile on that picture. I love it. So happy. That's great. Fantastic. Great job, Angel. Congratulations on that huge win.
Keep things rolling. We're in our 13 and under NASCAR Overall Grand Championship Black Belt Girls Forums. And representing Team Revolution from Union, New Jersey, Amanda, did I hear that right? Duarte.
Yeah, they've got a great team out, very competitive, great attitudes. Their personal team, the family that she is representing Team Revolution. And I watched earlier, I believe it was the 13 and under some CMX championship that I believe that she was in. Obviously doing a different routine. This is traditional.
Right.
So great performer. New Jersey, we missed the Miss Marvel cue there.
Yeah, we missed that one. You know what? I'm pretty sure there's going to be another one that's going to come up. taking her time to get herself ready right before this powerful traditional kata.
Good focus. Like how the camera, they'll show the wide view, for the audience at home, which is great to see, the whole backdrop of the stage, but when they're able to zoom in and catch the closer glimpse on the intensity, with the faces, it's great to see. Especially people at home that maybe don't get to watch this all the time, right?
This is true. I mean, if this is your first time watching this, actually, I'd be curious. Go ahead and chime on in. Let us know. We're here to answer any questions or explain things a little bit further as we sit in this grand ballroom in Hyatt, Chicago, Illinois. You can see as she sticks that side kick out, some of her teammates there cheering on the current shot that's on screen right now. It's a great ballroom here. You got those dynamic colors, those blue and reds in the back ballroom, really making this, lighting that stage, giving the athletes all the center of their attention. And, of course, the blue and red colors going along with the Warrior Cup.
Nice. That was smooth. So a lot of athletes and kata performers doing this particular kata, that transition, that little remix there, you either look like you fell down,
yes,
or you look dynamic. It's almost one or the other. So she looked dynamic. That was great. Great job. I love seeing that from the young martial artists. I love seeing them just be so on point. We're supposed to inspire them, but sometimes they inspire us.
Sometimes they inspire us.
Right?
I learned so much when I was teaching that I wished I had started teaching before.
Great job from Amanda. Great focus. Great performance on stage, man. Way to go. She's just 11 years old.
Just 11 years old.
So next up, representing Team Competitive Edge from Cumming, Georgia. She's just 10 years old. Miss Madeline Wiersma, and I have had the privilege of watching Madeline grow up the last 3 or 4 years in the sport as a regional competitor through Promac, and now the last couple of years on the NASCA World Tour. Again, it makes me so proud to see these young athletes grow, and Madeline's only 10 years old.
10 years old.
Like Michael Molina, only 10 years old, and out of the gate, sure, she comes with a nice tumble pass. She won her first overall grand championship earlier this afternoon, and the emotion and tears and happiness from everyone there watching was amazing to see her accomplish that. So let's see what she can do for the Warrior Cup here. She's going to come out and explode. Let's go. Nice.
Good hand combination pass. Just commenting on the age again, one of the things that I used to find amazing that parents would say after they signed their kids up for karate is that, what did you do to my son or my daughter? It's all of a sudden, yes, sir, no, sir, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. And the changes that they see at home in their discipline and the way they act in school and in their behavior and with their peers and everything, it really is, I believe, a benefit for children.
Madeline is a great example of that. You're watching, that was a nice, subtle, tricking exchange here. I'll just say it wasn't really a pass, but the exchange, the way that she rolled into the landing, very much on purpose, and it just was smooth to go into her cross tumble to finish. Her hands have been dynamic on this performance, and just 10 years old, small in stature, but she's bringing it.
Yes.
That was clean. Great
so much clean. Interesting. Once again, it's good to be seated back here, not up there judging.
Absolutely. I mean, Amanda had a very strong traditional performance, clean, great job. But unless the judges saw something that I missed, I think Madeline more than likely will have that just from sheer difficulty on top of the clean technique, on top of those other attributes that you were judging upon.
All right, let's see if the judges agree with you.
See if they agree. I got to be 1-0 here on my guesses. Maybe not, though. I'm 0-1. That was a great performance from both of these ladies. Amazing job. And you hear the crowd reacting to that, right? So I think everybody was kind of like, which way is it going to go?
Right.
Madeline pulls less 9, so it looks like my hunch was wrong. Congratulations.
You're 0-1, where I hope those Cowboys are at tomorrow in the NFL. I had to get that in there.
I can't be. I've got to be better on next. Great job, ladies. Awesome performance from Madeline and Amanda. Great smile there in that pick. Our 1300 grand champion, girls forms Amanda Dorte. Awesome job, ma'am.
Next up, 14-17 overall grand championship volleyball boys. First up, from Team Competitive.
All right, so the 14-17 NASCA overall grand championship for boys empty hand forms. And representing Team Competitive Edge is from Laredo, Texas, 15-year-old Christian Cheeks Elizondo. And Cheeks, as he does like to be referred to, like to be called, I've been able to score quite a few of their divisions. The 14, 15-year-olds are a insanely talented group of young athletes. And Cheeks is right there at the top of that. His traditional kata, not only is it paced very well, you're going to see his pace, you're going to see his lines, but very dynamic, explosive in those short movements and in the way that he, again, just go back to the word pacing,
yes,
of the kata.
It's an interesting age group because a lot of growing occurs usually during anywhere from 14 to 17. So you may actually come in 1 year, or let's say 1 season, and you're a certain height, and you hit that growth spurt, boom, you're in a whole new body. So you gotta readjust as you start to grow. And a lot of different times during this time, you're dealing with different schools, different challenges. So a lot of change.
Yeah, that is a challenge for teenage athletes, right?
Yes.
How fast their growth spurts and everything that goes with that. That's absolutely right. But these young athletes are handling it.
They make it look easy.
No problem. Yeah, they make it look easy. Cheeks coming out strong, per usual. I expect this to be a tough form to beat. I know I see his competition coming up behind him, so I don't envy the judges on this. But Cheeks normally very consistent, very dynamic, very strong. Look at that nice stance, showing the balance. Strong. And you're seeing his traditional kata, but he is a top 14, 15-year-old fighter.
Oh, I'd love to hear that.
Oh, he is. He's a top fighter for his age group. He's always in the mix, dynamic. So great competitor. Out of the Laredo, Texas area, Vito Rodriguez. He's
he does a tremendous job down there.
Great coaching, great athletes, great attitude. He's also the promoter, a co-promoter of a few events like the Texas Revolution on the ProMag and NASCA circuits. So great pedigree where this young man's coming from.
That was a great plug to get that in there.
Absolutely. Well, they deserve it. We love people that support the sport and are training our next level generation.
And giving back,
athletes.
and you see
Yes.
you see the type of conditioned athlete they help produce.
That's what it's all about. We're all about giving value. Cheeks, consistent here. Just, again, smooth. No problems with the kata so far. I'm not going to jinx him before the end. My memory serves me in the right manner. This is the same traditional kata he earlier this morning, actually, he won the 14-15 traditional division and moved on to the grands round to qualify for tonight. So great job. So also from Texas, but from the Houston area, from Team Competitive Edge, 16-year-old Philip Brumet. Saw him, we watched him earlier, and with the commas and the weapons. So his empty hand form. He doesn't have a weapon to worry about, so you think he's going to just go all out here?
Just let it go. Looks like we've got some music to go along with that, and I expect him just to explode here.
Yeah, so fantastic traditional from Cheeks, and now we're going the opposite direction with creative extreme from Philip Brunet. Fantastic pass from Philip. So
made it look so smooth.
It was smooth. He came across the stage with a multiple kicking and tricking combination, and then he almost had a fall-in move, much like we saw earlier with Madeline, and he just used it to transition and come back the opposite way. So that body control and that creativity, fantastic.
once again trying to stand out and, ahead of the competition. Find something unique, something that you do very well.
That was great. So clean, powerful. His hands are always improving. So what we just watched, hands were looking better than I've seen them. Great dynamics. His tricking passes along with kicking passes. Great balance from this point. Again, judges a little closer. Sometimes they see things we don't.
Do you want to take a stab at it again this time?
I think Philip Brumet is going to come out with this one. Even though I was hyping Cheeks' traditional, I love both of these kids. So, yeah, I just think that if I was judging right now, it would be hard. I'd be biting my knuckles. It looks like I got this.
It looks like you got this one right.
I pulled this one correctly. But that is, Cheeks pulled at least 1-9 there, I believe.
Yes, indeed.
That was right.
While we wait for a trophy presentation, why don't you tell us the date for the Memphis Open this year?
Well, I know about that one. The Memphis Open is February 17th and 18th there in Memphis, Tennessee at the Resident Convention Center in downtown Sheraton. And if you have any questions about that, please feel free to message me personally or go to madaction.com. We talked about Mad Action.
We did talk about Mad Action, which you're watching right now.
Absolutely. All the information's there for that. Thank you.
Everything that you're seeing right up here for this graphic, the score system is being done by Mad Action. Homegrown from the ground up system.
Great. They did a wonderful job. And again, congratulations to Philip Brumet on that 14-17 Grand Championship. And going right to the ladies, right?
Yes, indeed. 14 to 17-year-old overall Grand Championship Black Belt Forms girls representing Team Paul Mitchell. Team Paul Mitchell, we mentioned it before, from Lebanon, Tennessee. 14 years old, Avery Presley.
This is going to be, again, very diverse. You have two competitors. Avery's obviously performing extreme.
Yes.
Competitor coming up in a moment will begin traditional. Avery's legendary brothers.
Yes.
As you mentioned, she might be the best of the group. I don't know that the guys would be sad to hear that. They'd probably be pretty proud.
Think about it. They have all the experience going before her, being that they're older brothers, and as older brothers should do, they can help coach her and get her better if she's going to follow in what seems to be the family business.
It is the family business, and winning is part of the family business when it comes to sport karate events. Avery comes out firing. I know she had some interesting moments earlier today in certain competitions. I know last night she was on fire, winning division after division, and she's bringing that energy to the stage right now. Her hands are clean, dynamic. Wow. And it wasn't overly tricky.
Right. It was not a lot of tricks, stayed basic, and I've been sitting here trying to remember, just think from my experience from being around a while, I think that they hold the record for having 4 family members on the John Paul Mitchell team at one time.
At one time. That would seem like a record, right?
Yeah, I think it is definitely a record.
Seemed like a record. So great performance from Avery. I believe, again, if my memory serves me correct, Avery is also dealing with a little bit of an injury. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't surprise me that maybe she didn't pull out some of the big tricks there, but she didn't need it. That was a great performance, was clean, great martial arts. Was fast, dynamic. Hands were stronger than I've seen her. So if she's going to come out in this, she needed that.
Yes.
And she nailed it. So great job to Avery Presley. And back on stage, Sofia Rodriguez Flores, which, by the way, you mentioned Memphis Open. She will be there.
Yes.
Doing a free seminar.
Free?
Yes, we did that, and we're taking care of Sofia as a young athlete for that, so we're providing that. I'm very proud of it, and she is proud to do that, and she's also offering private lessons and training there that weekend. So a little plug for her.
A little plug for her as well.
For her, because she deserves it. Works hard. I love supporting the young athletes. So again, you're seeing traditional to music here. We talked about that, and very much on purpose, her music coincides with what she's doing, just like an extreme one.
Very connecting to the form itself. Again, representing Team Infinity, 15 years old, from Sunrise, Florida. Pia, as she's known. Very graceful in her movements, too. Intense, and then there's grace. There's that hard and that soft, that yin and that yang.
I've said it before on a few opportunities, broadcasting finals here and there, with Sophia being in that, is that of all of the youth competitors right now, like she's right there in that top group of all of those things coming together. You know, her power, her strength, the way that she executes the kata, her presence, but her facial structure, you know, it just nails every checkpoint, right? You know, so she understands how to perform, how to draw out that. I mean, look at her eyes, the way that she pulls
She's keeping
into
her
that.
eyes straight ahead on her opponents.
If you really watch that, you'll understand that she understands the power of that. So I'm always impressed when any athlete, much less a younger athlete, can do that, bring that to the stage. That's a great up-close view there to kind of capture just a moment of that. Avery had a different dynamic, right, with the extreme and creative, and she obviously brought the intensity and that presence just right out of the gate.
But that energy is also being matched in this traditional sense.
Yeah, it's a different pace,
yes.
right? Look at that right there. Keyed in all the way. Love it. Fantastic. Yeah, I'm going to be like a broken record. I'm so glad I'm not judging tonight.
And, you know, really respecting and look at the sportsmanship between these two young ladies and the great benefit of these martial arts, that power that, you know, these young ladies get from, you know, the confidence for growing up and understanding, you know, who they really are at a young age.
Well, they've both grown up in the sport. You know, we've seen them grow up in the sport. You see them at the events and how they treat other people as young athletes. And even though they're on top of this sport, two of the best in this sport, the way they treat other athletes is fantastic. All right, so you watch the scoring there as we were giving the young ladies compliments on their behavior, and your winner, your overall champion winner, Miss Avery Presley. Fantastic. I love that. Great competition. Both ladies nailed it. And your overall winner, Avery, she's got her hair down there. She's like represents like my brothers have nothing on this picture, right?
Exactly.
I love it. Great family. And congratulations to Sophia and Avery on a great performance.
It is cruise season. All right,
we keep bringing that up. We've yet to get the tickets.
we got to keep mentioning it.
Okay, we get 3 more chances.
Back to competition for our 18 and over NASCAR Overall Grand Championship Black Belt Women's Forms. Looks like our first competitor is on the stage.
So from Gainesville, Florida,
yes,
19-year-old Andrea Guzman. Now, I haven't had the privilege of watching her compete a lot, just a little. So I'm anxious to see. I didn't get to see her this weekend earlier in any divisional, so I'm excited to see what she brings here.
Starting out with a big, huge X out.
Nice. That's how you start.
Yes.
She's like, no, I hear you. I'm going to get your attention. Here we go.
Got a little bit of upbeat music going on.
Oh, nice. With the 540 combo. I love the drop-down sweep through. Nice. Good hands. Got a great presence. Okay, with the flash. Okay. So finishes with the Webster, moving forward to the knee. Nice, extreme form. And again, I haven't watched a lot of her, so it's great to see that. Very impressed. Great job, man. All right, so representing Team America from New Jersey. New Jersey's popular
Jersey's
tonight.
popular.
That's impressive. All right, 18 years old, Alessandra Linnea. And you see her a lot doing team form, sync, and I believe with Shane Billow that we watched earlier. So they have a really neat, if you're watching this and you haven't seen a lot, they do a really great team sync blindfolded. And there's a few groups that do that, and it's always super impressive. And they have a great bow form in sync, so to speak, blindfolded. All right, so Miss Linnea demonstrating. She's got her black gi on, and in this sport, that quite often results in either creative extreme form or maybe Kempo form quite a lot. So not sure what she's pulling out of the bag here. There we go. It's creative. I say that now. Could be extreme depending on what she throws, but the rules, maybe some of you that aren't as familiar at home or sort of familiar with the creative form, it all may sound the same depending on your experience level, but creative has certain restrictions. You know, they can't go inverted with certain flips. Right, their kicking is limited to a 360-degree rotation. And there's a few other nuances, but then when they do what we would call extreme, it could be just like what you saw Miss Linnea perform there, but with a lot of the flips and tricks in there that you may have seen earlier, like from Avery Presley. So great job, Alessandra. Great competitor, very well-rounded. Usually seeing her do traditional or sync, as I mentioned, that she hit the stage with the creative. That was nice to see. Very clean, short and sweet. Ooh, and next up, we watched and listened to her earlier.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
We're doing the opening anthem, representing Team Paul Mitchell, and that's new. She was just picked up by Team Paul Mitchell.
Yes, that was just a few weeks ago.
Yeah, and well-deserved. She's been on top of the game in her division for a while now and always improving. So representing Team Paul Mitchell from Connecticut, she's 23 years old, Gabrielle Dunn-Rudolph. The better half to the legendary Jackson Rudolph. Right, there's a guy, right. So love Jackson. He is a legend of the sport and has done a ton of commentating over the years.
Yes, indeed.
So I love him and the way he thinks about the game. Been a joy watching him grow up. And on the stage, it's a joy to watch, again, you know, ribbing at him a little bit, his better half up here, Gabrielle, one of the top traditional performers in the game right now. Her poise, we talk about ring presence and performance and how you execute. She definitely has a grace and a presence about her and a flow.
She's very familiar to the stage, of course, being a former member of Team AKA, but a current member of Team Paul Mitchell.
That's right. She was a longtime member of Team AK and helped with the opening demonstration tonight.
Yes.
I don't think everybody at home got to see that, but
that was before broadcast. Correct.
There was a performance, and she was in there with that. It was fun. Yeah, absolutely. No stranger to the stage and the spotlight.
And of course, listen, I think that I would be more than happy to come out here. I'm not the best at kata. I'm not the best weapons. But if you ask me to sing national anthem, I'm out.
No one wants to hear me sing.
No, I think I
you.
would probably be asked to renounce my citizenship if I did that.
We will let Miss Rudolph continue to handle that because it was beautiful. She does a great job. So she can do that and then come out here and demonstrate a world-class traditional kata like she's doing right now. Not only is she a great performer, you're watching, her. It's effortless. We think it's effortless, right?
Yes.
But again, perform great traditional kata. Look at that focus on her face, the balance, execution. But she's also a great teacher, a great mentor, a great leader in the sport. I know that there are a lot of youth a lot of young athletes that do lessons with her, do seminars. She was at the Destin Open in Destin, Florida last May, did a wonderful seminar and spoke to a lot of the athletes. And that was one of the first times I got to really be that close and listening to that feedback. And at just 23 years old, great poise, great attitude, great leadership for the young athletes. So not only is she great on the stage there, but also great with developing the next generation.
Indeed, and you think about it because you grow from those that come before you.
Yes.
And she is helping cultivate that next generation of young athletes that will come after her. But to, getting a chance to meet someone that's been on the stage that you've looked up to that's, top in their division, it really helps the young athletes out a lot.
It's huge. It's always that reaching back and pulling up, right? Or
yes.
Lifting up. Lifting up. So representing Team Ohana, 8 from Millbury, Massachusetts, 18-year-old Caitlin McMillan.
If I'm not mistaken, Kempo form?
Yes. Look at that coming out. No music, no theatrics, so to speak. Just
all about business.
All about it. She's got great focus. The Kempo style is, when it comes to competition on the modern sport karate, and you can say however many years back you want to look, you can say, well, it doesn't get as much love. It doesn't get as much recognition. And whatever era people may be from in competition years of that, I think that now more than ever, there's more opportunities for Kempo stylists. There's more opportunities to see this on stage in the finals, whether it's winning divisions. And for those that may not know, a lot of times at this level, you have to win your division and then you move off to a runoff type situation. And then you might get to make it to the finals here in a situation like this. And I really, over the last few years, have seen more Kempo performances. So I love it. That the strength, the dynamics is very combat oriented, not as wide out and pretty.
Yes.
You may visually see. Great job from Ms. McMillan on that. Great power, great focus.
We just got a note that says that she learned Kempo because she had just moved into the adult division and wanted to add another traditional to her competition set. So take it upon that to learn that.
Wow, moving up and starting something new.
Yes.
Great job, Caitlin. Super impressed with the poise on stage there, the strength that the kata had, and then also trying something new like that. Love it. That's positive. Representing Team CBR on stage from Maryland. Coming back, Caitlin Vaughn, 21 years old. Saw her earlier with weapons, is that correct?
Yes, we did.
I love to see this. So, Caitlin coming out of the Maryland area, and we mentioned Master Sharok. The Korean base is what I'm watching her demonstrate with such a Korean base. I love to see that. There's been a very not even really a movement, but a lot of Japanese Okinawan when it comes to the traditional on the stage. You've seen so much of that, right?
Look at the deep stances and the high kicks.
Her kicks are great technique, positioning on the kicking, hip position, foot blade position, like on that side kick. So my kickers out there, kicking practitioners, you'll appreciate that from this young lady. Great job.
Deep set front stances. Look at the straight lines with those punches.
Finished up. Great, nice and clean. Great stance work, hands, and her kicks were obviously the highlight of that performance in that type of form. Kata. Great job, Caitlin. So again to the stage, representing Team Revolution from Waterloo, Ontario, 21-year-old Lynn Barclay.
You got to give it to her for matching the hair color to the Team Revolution colors.
It's not a Revolution infomercial, but man, their color scheme, the shoes, the warm-ups, the hair, it's great. It's very positive, you know. Love it. So Lynn's working, obviously, at Chinese-based performance. And again, you know, people watching at home, we have a lot of seasoned people, a lot of people in the sport that watch and tune in that couldn't be here this weekend, but they're always sharing. There's always family and people watching that aren't as familiar with that. So we like to make sure we throw little things out. And you're seeing her uniform is different than most of the other competitors, right? So a little Chinese base and soft style. Hard style would be more of like the karate and taekwondo type things that you've watched this evening, whether it be traditional or creative. You could still, you know, say those were hard. And then on the soft style, you have wushu and various other styles and iterations of that go into the soft style and lump into that. So obviously her uniform, her performance is in that category. She wants to get everyone with the eye gouge.
Oh.
The little eye, the claw.
The
right?
little claw, don't be right when that happens.
She ending the performance with that. That's great. I love it. Strong. All right. So that was a great division. Ladies, great performances all the way across the board there. You got to see soft style.
Hard
Chinese,
style.
Korean.
Yes. There's a good
Kempo,
mixture.
Japanese Okinawan, creative and extreme. I mean, that lineup from left to right, you know, from our first competitor, Miss Guzman. So you've got extreme, creative, traditional Kempo, traditional Korean, followed by Chinese. What a representation on the stage.
Overall grand championship winner in this category, our presenter, Mary Amato.
So again, back to the stage, Mr. Mike Chat giving her love. Usually she's out there doing her thing, and she's a multiple-time winner, Miss Mary Amato. And I've got to give the Amato family a little shout-out. They're great. I mean, they help out all over the place, but the Warrior Cup weekend here in Chicago, instrumental to the success. Her mother, Jeannie, is a beast, a warrior.
You know, I don't think unless you have done one of these competitions or been affiliated, maybe a family member, you really don't realize how much parents play a role of the success of the tournament that they are in. They bring their kids, they travel, you stay, and then they help with timekeeping, scorekeeping, making lunches. The parents that make lunches are my favorite because I'm telling you, you go through this thing, you forget that it was time to eat. You know, if there's an injury, they're there with ice. They're always there as the helpers. And it's not only just for their child, their son or daughter. There's a group, there's a community that you start to meet as you start to do this, that you come to rely on to help you in this journey. I mean, there have been multiple times where people have, you've been traveling with the family, or, you know, you're going, maybe it's the first time you travel by yourself, your parents are coming, and you could lean on those that you competed against in the junior division, or, you know, as you come up and they say, oh, you know, hey, come out to dinner with us, come out to lunch with us, maybe even stay with them, you know, and the community that really embraces these athletes is just so great.
It's competitive, but it's inclusive.
Exactly.
No, I love it. I witnessed quite a bit of that this weekend, but we do every weekend that we're at these events, whether it's a regional event or, you know, an international event like this. You see the camaraderie, so it's beautiful.
It's just absolutely beautiful.
Miss Guzman, 49.84, her extreme routine. Alessandra, her scores come out to 49.83.
All right, moving next to Gabriel Dunn Rudolph.
And you're looking for at least 4 9s in your score, if you can. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Goodness, 8-5. So that's going to be your winner. For sure. All right, Miss McMillan with a 49.83 in the Kempo performance.
And the scores for Caitlin Vaughn.
Ms. Vaughn had a traditional Korean performance, essentially 49.87.
And our final competitor, Lynn again, Barclay. The score.
And Lynn with a 49.8. Nice job. All right. Your overall NASCA Women's Forums winner, Miss Gabrielle Rudolph. Great job, ma'am. Excellent performance. Great group of ladies. Congratulations, all of them again earned, first place wins in their divisions or maybe even multiple divisions and then earned their right to the stage. And congrats once again to Miss Gabrielle Rudolph, your grand champion for Women's Forums.
It's been a great night so far. We've still got a few things going on from some of our Sparring Warrior Cup with Avery Plowden earning another Warrior Cup for the Plowden family and an upset in the women's division. Giving Katarina. I apologize, Katarina. Her first Warrior Cup. That was fantastic.
Yeah, that was a great win. That's an all-time win for her.
Yes.
So
something to build off of. And now we see DG and Pia, as they are known on their vlog, out for Synchronized Team Overall Championship. They are, of course, and I like to mention on here, it says, coached by Dad.
Coached by Dad. Their dad is a great guy, a great character, full of positivity and love every time you see him. Very warm, welcoming. So that's great. All right, these two to the top competitors in the country. You've watched Pia multiple times now tonight.
Indeed.
You see her brother. And as you mentioned, DG and Pia on social media, their vlog and their Instagram handles, they want you to follow them.
Yes.
They have great sport karate content and just content based around their travels. Very fun.
I always try to find when they're doing this so I can make the shout out. Hey, I made the vlog.
Right. You're kind of cool if you do, right?
Yes.
Maybe they'll include us at some point. We'll see. They did a great vlog for the Memphis Open last year to give them credit and touch on that. They do a great job. So you can see some of that work on their social media. All right, so Team Sync, obviously traditional. They have the music, and their movements are with the music. So if you can hear that correctly at home, it's definitely dynamic. That's a great shot. As a performer and competitor, sometimes I question, as long as I've been doing this, training athletes, training competitors for competition and sync and demonstration, I don't know. It really depends on the moment or maybe the partner. Is it harder to do sync traditional style, like what they're doing, and they're obviously doing opposite facing sides and mirror imaging? Is that harder than a creative extreme sync?
That's a very interesting question because even with them being siblings, I'm pretty sure they have their preference in what they want to do, what they're better at and everything. And you very well may be asked to do a form in traditional when maybe you're better at creative. And also, like you said, doing it in the mirror image style, the exact opposite of your sibling.
It's a different pace. It's beautiful. I mean, those two, again, great performers, great athletes, great martial artists. That was fantastic sync form. They had a few moments in there that I thought maybe the door was open on some of their timing with their blocks.
hundredths of a second off.
Isn't it? It's weird that we even have to get to say that because they're so amazing, right, and dynamic. But if you're looking at it from a judging perspective, you have to find what you can find. You have to find the little things.
That's
and
true.
At this level, it's often the little things. So we've got Ben Jones and Esteban Tremblay up representing Team Paul Mitchell. Sync weapons. So BG and Pia were empty hand.
These are sync weapons.
They have weapons, and it's going to be extreme.
Now, I believe I asked Ben Jones this during an interview. I said, okay, you're in South Carolina, Esteban is in Canada. How do you create a sync form when you're thousands of miles away? And he said, it's a lot of work, online, Zoom. They'll record their performances, send it to each other so they can work on syncing up. So this is using the aid of technology to help out with a partner that's not, right around the corner from you.
He's not right around the corner. He's in a different country.
Country, yes.
These young men, first of all, just nailed that routine.
Yes.
So, great speed, great timing with that. And, we were talking about, is it harder to do something like what you just watched them do, creative extreme version versus a traditional performance? Obviously, the weapon ups the ante of the difficulty because either one of them could drop or slip or miss grip, right? Mm-hmm. Whereas if you don't have a weapon, you don't have
You don't have to worry about that.
Yeah. So,
and then don't forget, they passed the weapon during the routine.
Oh, that was outstanding what you just witnessed there. That's great. Both routines from both teams are great. So, BG and Pia received 2 9s there, I believe, if I witnessed that correctly. And then your Team Paul Mitchell score, 49.93. So it looks like they captured the extra 2 9s. And I think deservedly so in that particular moment, particular competition. BG and Pia were fantastic as always. I thought I might have seen a few little moments there that you could open the door. And Ben and Esteban didn't really have a hitch in that.
No, they just came out, did it, bowed out, collected the trophy.
Wow. And both of those young men just moved up to adult division, much like this past year DG had moved up.
Yes.
So a lot of great young athletes there. Great job, guys. Congratulations.
Looks like we are on to the Junior Forms Warrior Cup final, sponsored by Faith Farrell and Associates.
Thank you, guys.
Yes, indeed.
Representing Team Competitive Edge from Houston, Texas, back to the stage when he's 16 years old, Philip Brumet. So these 4 competitors we witnessed earlier winning their overall championships. So now this is for the Junior Forms Warrior Cup. So hopefully they can either nail or step up what they did earlier.
You're about to find out.
Nice pass from Philip there. A little different from earlier on that. Great job.
Still with the same intensity, though.
Oh, absolutely. I love to see the differential. That's why I want to make a point that he's not just doing the same form without the weapon. Right. If you watched earlier, it's different. He's got different dynamics, a lot of similar elements, similar pattern, but different. Good hands. Extension is good, so he's showing off. He's got some good length there. Nice job. Dynamic finish, clean, great landings. That's great. All right. So coming up next, you watched her earlier capture the championship, 11 years old, in New Jersey, representing Team Revolution, Amanda Dorte.
Another Team Revolution team member on stage.
If I ever walk down the street, I want Team Revolution to be my hype people.
Oh, I can only imagine. You know what? like going to pick up, or let's say buy eggs. Well, buying eggs are expensive these days, but it would be great to see team members back you up, maybe give a round of applause and everything. That would be great because they would support you in that.
I would, for sure. We'll see if we can hire them.
Quick hand speed coming right out the gate.
Yeah, so just because you do a traditional performance doesn't mean it's slow, right?
No,
You know?
it doesn't always have to be slow.
And of course, I say the traditional essence being there, but of course, everything evolves, everything changes, everything moves forward or sideways. And in traditional competition in sport martial arts, it continues to evolve. And demonstrating and performing, competing with any traditional kata that's been handed down, and that you have such a wide variety of people that know those. The differences on how they execute it is vast. But the judges are looking for certain things, even if it might be different than how they remember it, or they may or may not know the particular kata. But that's the beauty of open competition, is demonstrating the essence of the category. And the judges are, we're watching for your speed, your precision, your intensity, your power, your stances, your technique, your quality, your ring management, all of those things in the open circuit. So it may not be done the way certain traditionalists would do it, right?
Right.
But that's the beauty of it. You can see some variety there. She's kept her power, kept her pace. Great job, ma'am.
Another solid traditional form without the aid of music. As you said, sometimes music can be used to enhance a performance, but also the lack of music can also help enhance that performance.
It depends on the moment and
Yes.
the performance.
Team Revolution, let's welcome back Angel Perez.
Angel Perez back on the mat. Pulled out the big win earlier. 11 years old. I'm betting he comes back with the same exact traditional routine this time. I mean, he could change it up, but typically this age grouping, they've got one they've been working on,
Right.
mainly.
But you never know. You might be surprised.
I just want to hunt them down afterwards and see if I can jump in the luggage for Puerto Rico.
I was going to say that depending on what the current temperature is outside, trading the Puerto Rico weather for the Chicago weather might be a very good deal.
They got off the plane and wondered what they did.
What have we done?
Wait a minute. Nice, so he comes out of the gate strong. Nice. So a little equal value to both sides. I think he was a little more intense to this team side, though. He was feeding off their energy.
As you should do. There's a whole built-in support group.
Yeah, I like the wide shot there on the feed. You get to see a little bit of team in the background there, what we're talking about. So that's great. Warrior Cups in the background. They know what they're going for, right?
Exactly. It's right there in front of you.
He's finishing strong, nice and clean. Good job, sir. Okay, Angel Perez once again, Puerto Rico.
Very disciplined young man, 11.
And when you watch the 10, 11-year-olds performing at this level, it's, I mentioned it earlier, it's exciting. Makes me proud. Great focus. All right, so Avery Presley back on stage representing Team Paul Mitchell. As we mentioned earlier, out of Lebanon, Tennessee area. Definitely going to be creative. See if she throws anything extra here for the finale. All right. Ooh, the 540 to the spin off the knees with the axe aerial. That was a way to open it up for sure. She stepped up the difficulty on that combination. Very nice. Good hands. Nice switch. Right into the pass with the flash. Definitely stepped it up.
Yeah, she's definitely coming out strong. Lots of smooth movement. I've noticed a definite change from seeing her last year, how she's improved a number of things.
Wow, nice performance from Avery Presley. Nice job, man. Yeah, she's improved her speed, her strength. I mean, obviously growing up,
yes.
Getting older is going to do that. But you mentioned earlier it can make you awkward and you have to go through it. But she's continued to get stronger, work hard, and the jump, as you mentioned, even from a year ago as she was coming on, like to see that, that's great, very powerful, dynamic, getting better. And that performance was definitely a level up from what we watched earlier in the final. Coming to the stage, representing the award is Holly Ham, the president of ProMat, Professional Martial Arts Conference, and the promoter of the Destin Open.
Beautiful Destin, Florida. It's a great place to visit.
It is a great place to visit. If you're ever in Destin, call Holly up at Resolute Martial Arts. Maybe come see us at Destin Open.
This is true.
Here we go. Scores for Philip Roumet. You got the 8-8. Fantastic. Great score. And again, great performance from Philip. He's fantastic. All right. Miss Amanda, 49.82. Great traditional performance. Angel steps in front. He's like, what's up? 49.9 for Angel.
Wow.
Wow. Nice. And a 49.9
Just
won
edges.
for Avery. By 1 point.
Wow, that was a tight competition right there.
That was fantastic. Great performances from all four competitors. Definitely worthy. And I know that earlier, Avery, again, they had, some interesting things going on in competition and from earlier this afternoon, and for her to come back and get her mind straight and focus and have that type of performance in the finale was great. So
You got to recover. That is amazing. Congratulations, Avery Presley.
yeah, she recovered and came out gangbusters. That was great. Great job to everyone. All right, great shot. Congratulations for that division. Miss Avery Presley, your Junior Warrior Cup Forums winner. As you mentioned, where are they going to put them all?
Yeah. right, we are back and ready for our final division of the night, Adult Forms Warrior Cup Final, sponsored by Don Wolf and Toyota of Naperville. That was a great commercial for Jake Presley.
Coming off of his sister's win, right? What timing?
Exactly.
Ooh, all right, so final division of the night. As you mentioned, I can't believe that. We're already there. Representing Team Revolution.
There they are again.
From Littleton, Colorado. He's 38 years old, Kevin Kowalczyk. And at 38, Kevin is one of the most fit,
oh my goodness,
quote, senior competitors.
Senior, put that in front.
Yeah,
it's very tenderly.
Very lightly, because Kevin moves like he's 25, and I like his attitude. He's great with everyone, dynamic, supportive, great teammate. I watch, from the outside to see what he does with the team. So very supportive, and even at 38 years old, he's doing sport karate, tricking, competition, and jumped over to karate combat.
Yes, he did.
It's impressive. All right, so out of the gate, the senior's going to show the young bucks so we can trick a little bit too.
Hey, set the bar high,
I know if they're at home, they say, what, 38? That's not old, but 38
with the wear and tear that you get on your body with this?
It's different. We're 540. All right, here comes Kevin with some hands. Nice speed, nice and clean. Backside combo, 540 with the little look at me hand pose. I like it. Oh, he throws a double leg. That's one of my favorite techniques. Love that. Oh, jump spin to the split.
Little shout out to the team.
Shout out to the team. I like it. Look at that. The energy, the showmanship. He's like, the young kids can do that, but so can the old guys. I like it.
Very careful with that word, senior.
Well, I'm older than he is, so, he's still a young buck to me, but I absolutely respect that. That's fantastic. So coming up behind him, we watched him earlier in the weapons, right? The double bow. So representing Team Diamond from Hempstead, Florida, 27-year-old Rashad Eugene.
This time using with an open hand full.
No weapons, so might get a little crazy.
Oh, it's going to get a little crazy.
Again, Rashad's a crowd favorite for sure, and he's always bringing that. The crowd loves to see him let it loose. So let's see what he's got. So no music.
No music.
All right, so following the creative vein here. So got the creative routine, but the passes, the kicks, and the combos he threw. Notice he's not going inverted, or at least trying not to go inverted.
Yes.
Because that would be a downgrade and even DQ. So even though it's creative, again, for you watching at home, if you slightly know the difference there, that move is one of the dynamic moves that's on the creative list that, depending on where your head goes, makes it legal or not. Wow.
Small differences in rules change between divisions.
So to his credit, to come out and perform creative in the final, and no music, so he didn't have that pop. Just depending on the energy. Great job, sir. All right, so also, or back from Team Infinity, I should say.
Big brother.
Watched him do the team sync with Sophia, his little sister. So now, and again, he was the traditional forms grand champion today. So phenomenal traditional presence. Diego Rodriguez Flores, just 18 years old. you're going to see as you watch him perform here. Much like we talked about with Sophia, obviously training together, family, so they have a lot of, the same opportunities to have similar attributes, and they do. Diego's presence, the way that he performs, his facial expressions, his energy, breathing, dynamics, where he's looking, the focus, and you can see that there in a zoom-in shot. It's fantastic. So it really shows off, those attributes for sure. And then, you can hear, again, no music.
Yes.
You can hear that pop. You can hear the dynamics of the change and the stance work and the chambering. So all of our traditional martial artists out there love that.
And it's those little small details that are worth noting that make the difference between a win and a loss at this level. Can the judges see where eye line is? Can you make the judges visualize the opponent that you are performing this kata against, or opponents? Not losing your focus, snapping the uniform, nailing that without any movement, that movement right there.
Much harder than that look.
Yeah, way harder.
Well, some people at home may go, that looks hard. I can't do
that. Hey, watch your hamstrings, everyone.
Yeah, no doubt. Nice. So that transition is what we mentioned earlier.
Yes.
Depending on how you perform that and what you're looking at. But Diego, obviously, one of the top competitors out there right now, and made that look easy. And made it look powerful.
Right, showing that his control movement, he stopped his motion, then went into another move. It wasn't a continuous set of motion. I mean, I think it's human nature to look at something and say, "Oh, I could do that."
Right.
And sometimes you find out we are horribly wrong.
You mess around and find out.
Oh,
maybe you couldn't do it.
I think there's a scale on that. Yeah,
there's definitely a scale on that. So great performance from Diego. Nice, clean, powerful, well-focused. Fantastic.
Come to the stage right now from Team Paul Mitchell from Montreal, Quebec, is Esteban Tremblay. Now, once again, to remind everybody that's been with us since the start of the show, Mr. Perry predicted that this young man could be an upstart and take it all. And this is his opportunity to do this.
He's got the door open. I mean, as great as those performances were, and I think Gabrielle after him, I'm sure will be amazing. I think Esteban's got a great opportunity to take this. He's got to be dynamic, and he's got to nail everything. Well,
that's a good start.
That's a good start. That's such a high-level move there right out of the gate. Nails that. All that does is just pump you up, motivate you. You're ready to go. Let's see what he brings. Air Canada, right?
Air Canada, exactly.
Little extra spin on that hand combo. I noticed that, Esteban. I see you, sir. Oh, nice with the double there. And if you notice, he kicked through on both rotations. So that went by pretty quickly, but my trickers watching will appreciate that. Nice, smooth combinations there. No hitch. Oh, so he kind of pikes his tumble there. Yes. A little more of a stiff body, so it's a different look. The creative hand combinations. And he's finishing with that. Fantastic. I almost expected one more big move at the end. One more big thing. So I don't know if that was on purpose or not, but what he did and what he did execute is fantastic. Great job, Esteban.
Paul Mitchell. Let's welcome back Gabrielle Gunn Rudolph.
All right, so Gabrielle's back on the stage. She's just to follow the extreme form from Esteban, right?
Yeah, hey, thanks.
Thanks. Take your package back, Air Canada.
But she's got the power and the know-how, the skill to do this.
Yeah, she's not bothered by that. So making the joke about that, but she's not fazed a bit. She's a pro, one of the best in the world. She's just ready to go.
A lot of times if you go out there and someone just nails a kata right before you, it pumps you up even more.
Yeah.
To get you excited to go out there and do them one better.
certainly does. It did me. I love to compete, and you ask, and you watch, you not watch. Does it, you want to go first or last? And, if I had the privilege of going last or after, if someone nailed it in front of me, it did motivate me. So, I got to go, and let's do this. So, it does for these athletes. They want it. They at the end of the day, again, they're competing to win.
Yeah, and I have seen it before at a finals, in which, if I remember right, there are 4 competitors. Competitor 3 goes up there and just nails a beautiful kata. Competitor 4 comes up there, does the same thing, and competitors 3 and 4 tied twice, going back and forth and back and forth. And it was, the judges really couldn't decide between the 2 of them. It took 3 separate ones and finally a different kata to determine a winner. So
Glad I wasn't on that board.
Oh, exactly. The judges were sweating that day.
So Gabrielle is executing once again. Super smooth, great grace, poise, technique. Showing off her balance and flexibility, certain moves, depending on the angle. And most of the time, the traditional kata is presented, so to speak, the way they were handed down or the way they're supposed to. But and of course, traditionalists watching will notice, they may turn a different angle or do a section
difference
to a different side or something, just because it showcases, the execution of that to the judges if they're all sitting in the front line or not behind them. So it makes a difference. You'll see some modifications, but still keeping the essence of the form. But Gabrielle ran that pretty true to form there. Great job, man. Once again.
All right. It is all over and in the hands of the judges.
Competitors, back to the stage for scoring.
What a great final group. Great diversity there again with Kevin kind of representing the senior group and didn't look like a senior.
No.
The way he moved and could still flip and trick and obviously still fight.
Yeah, still fight too.
It's impressive. Rashad Eugene, Diego, Esteban, and Gabrielle. What a great group.
You got to really hand it to the young men who have come out here and carried these Warrior Cups to put them in the center stage.
They've gotten their workout,
They've got
too.
their workout in.
Oh, guarantee you. All right, so scores for Kevin were 49.82. That's his overall score. Kind of going with that theme tonight, just giving the final score there, the tally. So Rashad Eugene, 49.82.
Right. For DG.
49.88, and he pulled 2 9s out of the judges. Esteban, my little wild card youth pick. Let's see how he does.
And I put 9-3.
9-3. Guess what that's going to be? That's going to be a winning score, sir.
I think it may be.
Most definitely. And Gabrielle, 49.87. She pulls one of the 9s. Great performance. What great diversity. You had 3 different competitors pulling 9s. It's great. Fantastic.
And I do believe you were correct in your original prediction.
Look at that. All right, so I'm ahead now, right? I'm in the positive on the predictions.
I think you are definitely ahead of the cards. That was fantastic, and congratulations to Esteban. First time in the adult division, if I remember right, and winning the Warrior Cup. What a way to set it off. I don't want to see what the bill's going to be to ship that to Canada, but you know what? I'll let them figure it out. Dad's proud.
His dad will pay it, I can guarantee you. Congratulations, Esteban. Thanks for coming through for me, buddy. And congrats to all of the competitors up there. Very deserving.
Exactly. All right.
Congratulating all of the winners from tonight. Be proud to know you are competing alongside the very best of your peers. And don't forget to enjoy the experience.
Okay.
That concludes the competition here in Chicago for this year's AKA Warrior Cup Finals. On behalf of the American Karate Association President, Vice President, and Event Directors John Sharkey and Hunter Lyon, We would like to thank our broadcast sponsors, Century Martial Arts, Royal Caribbean, and Black Belt Magazine. We would also like to thank Maggie Messina of Female Fighters Matter 2 for sponsoring our Women's Fighting Grand Championships. For Mike Chat, Joe Perry, and myself, we hope to see you all at home next January for the 2024 AKA Warrior Cup Finals. Have a great night, and remember to hit the link and follow and share for great content. Good night, everybody.
Thanks, guys. Great show.
Run.